So I'm gonna be reviewing a recent video about this laser test and breaking down to you everything, that I got my research on it. Because I will say to you, it's a lot of problems with it. And one of the main problems, I'm gonna point it out at some point in the video, but it don't do me no good to point it out if people don't even know about the experiment. So let me just tell you what this is, right? We know that, well, we all subscribe to the ideology that we live in a simulation theory. Most of us do in this community. We subscribe to the concept of a simulation, right? And one way we say that you can prove the simulation is with out-of-body experiences, dream worlds, the astral plane, lucid dreaming. Now, the people we're talking about today, Dan Gothals, Eric Swanson, Chase Hughes, I believe, he's not involved with the DMT laser experiment, but these guys subscribe to the simulation theory. It's not really a theory, if you ask me. Now, what is the DMT laser experiment? It is an experiment that's trying to prove the simulation by finding the source code behind the simulation. And this guy by the name of Dan Gothals have claimed to have been the man in our time to now have legitimate proof that we're in a simulation, because he's claiming that he's found the source code behind the simulation. Now, what is the source code? Whenever you have a video game, a simulation, you need a source code. It's the binary code behind the game's programming and functioning and the software and all that good stuff. And so if we're indeed in a simulation, then yes, that would be a source code for it. Now, in my opinion, before I play the video, I don't think that you would be able to see the source code the way that they're doing it. But it don't make me no different to go. It don't make me no good to go into that, because I want to show you the way they doing it first, so you can see what I mean. In my opinion, guys, this thing isn't all what it's all worked up to be. What's good? Yeah. So basically, Dan Gothals, he said that he found the source code behind the simulation. Now, dig this. Dig this. This is how I'm going to automatically point out to y'all some BS. He said, dig this now. He said that the source code behind the simulation, everybody, wait for it. I need to get me a drum roll effect. Guess what? He said that the source code behind the simulation, everybody, is written in none other than Hebrew.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So why is that a problem? Right off the bat, before we even get into this, I want you to understand the number one thing that debunks it. If we're in a simulation, that means nothing would be older than the simulation itself. That means that, listen to me now, the coding behind a video game would be older than the actual video game. The code for the game existed before the game was fully complete in a playable form that we all enjoy. Now, there is a code because we're in a simulation. I'm not going to debate them on that. We all agree on that. But what I'm telling y'all, the CIA proved in the 40s, even before that, that we're in a simulation by studying the brain, the mind. And the big psyop, the big trick that they don't want to bring up is that, yes, we in a simulation, which means there are other parallel simulations. And when you ask, how do you get out of this place? They're going to say, take some DMT and you can see these Hebrew characters just floating around. You know why it's a problem? Hebrew only dates back to around 1000 to 1200 BCE. It evolved from the Phoenician alphabet, right? The Sumerian, the Egyptian, and Indus scripts are far older than Hebrew. Now listen, this exposes an agenda that these guys are a bunch of Zionists. And here we go again with a Yahweh cult. You got to realize what's going on with this experiment. You got a bunch of guys tripping out on DMT, and they're not even educating y'all on what DMT does. DMT will make appear to you things that's already in your own subconscious. Why don't they educate you on that? Don't you know, if I did want you to see something, the best way for me to get you to see it is to program it into your subconscious and put you on some DMT? People who are Christians on DMT report to seeing Jesus. People who are Buddhists report to seeing Buddha or whatever. You see what I'm saying? People who got a fear of certain things report to seeing them on a DMT trip. Guess what the shamans say? The shamans say you need to clear your mind and be in a good energy before you take some DMT. That's right! Because everybody trip ain't the same, and everybody trip can be the same if all them people on the same vibration and frequency and they take and go on a trip together. If I want to take my own trip, I'm gonna take my DMT in private and tell you I'm Gucci, man. I'm gonna take my shit when I get home in my tabernacle. I'm good. Well, come on, man, take some with it. I'm good. It's a different trip if you take it with people versus yourself and all that. First of all, it ain't really an experiment. It's a bunch of people taking DMT looking into lasers. Let's just strip it all the way down. First of all, the source code behind this simulation wouldn't be written in no damn young ass Hebrew, man. That's right. Come on, man. They lost me at that. And I'm gonna tell you something else. In a simulation, everything walking around and moving is the source code in a different combination, just like in a video game. What do you mean, Sanchez? That means you should get on DMT and everything should be a Hebrew code. This lamp, this lava lamp, right? My body. If you think about the Matrix movie, when Neo became woke, he started saying the source code and he started saying the zeros and ones. Because look, the source code behind the simulation is gonna be mathematical, numerical digits. It ain't gonna be A's, B's, C's, and D's, because when you program in a computer, you program it in binary code. If we're in a simulation, the source code would be an advanced form of binary code behind this thing. It just wouldn't be a bunch of random Hebrew characters floating around in a laser. Because everything in the simulation is the code, is a combination of binary code manifesting itself. Every single human's fingerprint and unique energy can be summed up to a personal code that only you got, that's typed into this simulation manifesting your avatar. So that means if what they're saying is true, The moment they take the DMT, everything will turn into the source code, the whole world around them, everything. The walls. I'm going to show you a good example. Go watch The Matrix with Neo. And when the whole shit turns green and he looking down that hallway and everything is just numbers, even himself. That's a great example of what it probably would look like, but not just in some lasers. It'll be, if we're in a simulation, why is the source code only in these lasers? Floating around in the, and I'm gonna show y'all the thing right now, man. Matter of fact, let's get inside the video review and go and get into it. Let's go and get into this, man. Hold on, everybody. All right, that'll work. Okay. Sorry, people. Let me get this right for y'all. I want to give you the best viewing experience. Okay. Right there. And we'll move the chat over it like that. Let's get it. Let's play it and let's review it. Let's break it down.
We absolutely live in a simulation, and it is simulated by another civilization.
Is our reality manufactured by some unknown entity?
We are living.
Now, the ancestors said our higher self is dreaming. So a simulation is a dream world, basically. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to take away the ancient sciences, which, if you want to take the fear mongering out, because they want to bring and double down on the whole fear mongering, and it's a simulation created by some ancient Hebrew advanced race. Because why? The code that they're seeing is Hebrew, and then they saying that it's an advanced ancient civilization. So why it can't be Egyptian, Sumerian? Why Hebrew? That's the youngest one. Like, but I get it. If that's your religion, of course you're gonna promote that and find a way to convert people into your Yahwehism through now the new age simulation awakening, which is a true thing. We do live in a simulation, but the powers that be ain't gonna let that awakening roll out uncontrolled. Let's play the video.
Living in a computational world.
This man says he found a code hidden in the fabric of our reality.
There's millions of characters. They're moving all the time.
A code that may prove our world is not what we think.
It really feels like you're looking through a microscope into a whole new world that you never knew existed.
What is the true nature of the world we live in?
We take some DMT and we look through these lasers, and guess what we see? SpaghettiOs.
What is it really? I'm claiming we're about to find out.
For thousands of years, humans have asked the question, why are we here? Wondering about the origins and purpose of our existence. Countless theories have been proposed, from creation
Thank you, Free Energy, for the donation.
myths by all-powerful beings, to more recent explanations from the fields of science. Many of the proposed explanations include the idea that our life on Earth,
Promoting the globe ball Earth lie. You can't have a simulation with the globe Earth, man. Don't you know if we're in a simulation, it wouldn't start with a big bang and rocks and evolution? Because in a simulation, the shit just start off automatically with everything in it. The fish, the clouds, a simulated world don't have to evolve, y'all. You do know that, right? You do know if you're a tech guru and you create a copy of Earth in a digital program, that don't require evolution. Don't you know you can just make the humans right in it and you don't need them to evolve from a bunch of random mishaps, because ain't nothing random about a simulation. Everything is carefully programmed into it for a reason, just like we experience reality. Like, you can't see, here's what's going on. Everyone's waking up and knowing that there's no better explanation for our reality than the simulation theory. That's gonna become a mainstream thing that's gonna be normal. That's part of the Aquarian age awakening. So what do the powers that be got to do? They got to get in on that awakening or they're going to be left behind. But here go the kicker. The model that they've been deceiving everyone with for the past hundreds of years, it don't apply to the new awakening, which is so damn good, y'all. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Their time is up for people that really got a mind, y'all. For people that really got a mind right now, guess what you're going to realize? The earth is flat. And that the biggest thing they hide from you, because they don't mind telling you in a simulation now. They're hiding for everyone how we get out of it. The space program is telling everyone we got to fly off of the earth to another planet. But if the earth is a simulation, how do you leave a simulation? By hopping out the damn computer. If you are a bunch of numbers, listen to what I'm telling y'all and hear me out, man. If you are a bunch of numbers inside of a digital program, how do you leave that in a damn rocket? They don't mind telling you the truth that we're in a simulation now. But they want to maintain the lie that there's no way out of here without rocket science. Because space is out there. If you just said we in a simulation, ain't nothing out there. It's all an illusion. That's right. Think about Neo in the Matrix, right? Neo was in a Matrix. He was in a simulation. What if people was telling him that the way out was with a rocket? Neo would have never made it out. Morpheus showed Neo the way out the Matrix, and what was it? Waking up. Life is but a dream. You can't fly out of a dream on a rocket. You gotta wake up from that. And these people don't want the world waking up. Part one of our awakening, simulation theory. Remember, I said it. I don't care what people's religious faith is. I don't care what you are. People are gonna come to a conclusion at some point in their life, we got to be in a simulation. We got to be in a copy of a copy. You see what I'm saying? People gonna come to that conclusion because there's no other explanation. There's no other explanation other than intelligent design. Intelligent design. So watch this, right? You can't have simulation theory with the heliocentric model. It literally is contrary to the idea of a simulation. Because in their model, everything starts with random chemical reactions that wouldn't have happened. It was just 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000,000 probability for human life to evolve out of a cataclysm, a cosmic soup. Now, you can't tell two stories. Either that's how it started or it was programmed by a programmer. The science that we're under have denied the idea of intelligent design. But when you talk about a simulation, guess what that is, folks? Intelligent design. If you want to know how silly this is, if you walk up to a physicist today and tell him that the universe was intelligently designed, he will laugh at you and call it pseudoscience. And then if you tell him hey, we live in a simulation, he'll say, you know what? I believe you're right about that. Science is coming to find out that we may indeed live in a simulation. How? Now, here's their problem. They got to show us how we can be in a simulation that isn't intelligently designed. That means that the creators of this simulation wouldn't have even known what a source code is, because they would have had the first humans, apes, wiping their butt with their hands. Primitive. When you create a simulation, don't nothing start off primitive in a simulation. That'll be like me creating a digital copy of the earth we live in. Humans wouldn't have to evolve in the digital copy. In other words, a simulation is a copy of something else. It's simulating something else. It's a replica of something else. And with a simulation, it wouldn't start in an infancy phase where things have to evolve and all that. It is impossible. Now, either life get here through a process called evolution, or it can get here through a process called digital programming and simulation theory with an advanced person making a digital reality in a computer. But it can't be both of them. It just can't be both, man. It ain't never been both. In fact, the people that's talking about simulation theory now, they still laugh at intelligent design, which showing you that they agree that it can't be both, but they're trying to make it both. If they've been laughing at intelligent design for years, and now they're saying we in a simulation and we found the source code, for you to code a simulation like the one we live in, you got to be very intelligent. That's right. You just debunked the Big Bang if you found the source code of the simulation. So why the hell are we looking at a globe versus a computer? Don't let them mind fuck y'all like this. Bro, let me show y'all some about what the ancestors said. Real quick. Hey, shout out to Hanzite. I am broke in this juncture, yet I respect good intentions, good faith, honesty, and logic as priceless. Much love, Hanzite. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Let me show y'all something. If we're in a simulation, y'all, guess what that means? We are a digital program inside of a hardware. Do y'all not know how computers work now? These people don't. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. If they agree that we in a simulation, you gotta quit showing us the globe Earth now. Because remember, where is the Matrix? The Matrix ain't floating out in space as a ball. You see what they doing, y'all? They trying to have their cake and eat it too. I don't want to use those terms, but you see what I mean. Let me show you something real quick, though. Let me find something for y'all. They don't want you to see the mechanism behind the simulation. Let me show it to you from the ancients, though. This caught me off guard, so bear with me. Didn't even know I was gonna have to pull this up. All right, I got y'all right now. Let's pull this up. No, this ain't it. All right, we'll go with second. Oh yeah, I found it. So here it is right here. According to the ancestors, we live in a golden calf, a golden bull called Moloch. And if you look at this, I know what you're going to say, Sanchez, that's a quantum computer. You're right. You're right. Why you think they call it the quantum universe? They're speaking right in your face, man. When they talk about the quantum universe, they're telling you the truth, but you ain't listening. If it's a simulation, it's a quantum universe. Let me show you something about the Big Bang. If you look at how energy dissipate in a Big Bang, right? Or an explosion. Look at what it looks like. Let me blow this up, man. Hold on a second, because my screen share tripping. Yeah, that's what we want. So check this out, right? The solar system. Look at what the Pharaoh's showing you. This is what they don't want to tell y'all, right? The golden tomb that the Pharaoh put his soul in for immortality was a quantum computer. Quantum. If you research the cutting edge of simulation technology, guess what all of the scientists are saying? That by the year 2100, humans will be living out their lives inside of quantum computers, because we would have been uploaded our consciousness into holographic avatars and cheated death. This ain't, I wish I was this creative to make this kind of sci-fi shit up, but this is what they're doing. So watch this. My brain says ain't none new under the sun. Ancient people claim to have invented technology to give them immortality. Guess what science also claims? That if we're able to make a simulation in our time, chances are we live in a simulation. If you do science and you actually research, you know that. It is a known fact in science that if we can create a simulation, all scientists damn near agree it's a 95% chance we living in one if we can make one. Now, why do they say that? Do y'all know why they say that? Basically, it goes by an old proverb why they say that. That ain't none new under the sun. It's simple why they say that. Everything what we find out when we investigate reality, it appears that we live in some sort of replica of another Earth. And that's why I keep telling people we're not on Earth right now. We're in an Earth-like simulation. We're not in Earth right now. So the ancients said that we left Earth, and they talked about this place as being the underworld, and that's what I'm showing you on this collage. They spoke of the underworld as a golden calf. And I can show you what the golden calf looked like. The golden calf looked like a quantum computer. Check this out. Watch this. So why they got this golden calf with rings on? Now look, this is a quantum computer personified as a golden calf. And you see them putting souls inside of it. And guess what this was called? The earth god Saturn. And when people think that they were sacrificing their babies and killing their babies inside this thing, you're wrong. The ancestors were saying that all of these images represent our ancestors in the higher heaven putting us in the simulation. This beast is the computer. And even if you go and do your gematria with the Hebrew words, you will see that the word beast is computer. It's got the same gematria as computer. So our ancestors had the same technology we got, but they didn't speak of it in the same terms we use. And because we don't know that, we try to say, well, they was doing it with magic and voodoo, and they was doing it with miracles. But that ain't scientific to just say it's miracles, but that's what religions do. Our whole world religious systems is there to hide advanced ancient technology behind miracle workers. No one was worshiping gods on the earth. They was consumers, and they couldn't get enough of the tech that the tech gods had created in their time, and we're doing the same thing in ours. Ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon, all those places were destroyed because they got too smart. And we're bringing back, we're basically rebuilding these things, and we wondering why we're gonna fall too. It's called balance. Too much of anything can hurt you, man. That's right. More don't always mean better. Now, when we see them putting the babies in the golden bull, they lying to y'all about the stories behind that. This golden bull is an earth god, which is why he's shaped like a terrarium, because all the ancestors said that the earth was a dome. And when they put the baby in it, they're not killing the baby. They're sending the baby on its journey into the matrix. And the baby got to be molded in the fire. And it can't come out till it's, because what you need to make a diamond, pressure. No one was scared of this bull back in the day. We knew what this thing meant. It meant, hey, this is the simulation. This is a digital program. They personified it as the bull. But and if you let the ancestors tell you what this bull was, they would tell you the same thing that the Hindu said about the earth. Let's pull up the Hindu and Vedic cosmology real quick. It's a quantum computer. Look at it. Everybody's saying we live in a damn quantum computer in the ancient world. And now our scientists are just now saying we may be in a simulation. Don't y'all know a simulation requires a computer? You know that we all got computers, right? And this ain't no rocket science. It's simple stuff, y'all. A simulation requires something to compute those codes that he was just talking about. You just can't have codes floating around in space. Some gotta compute those codes. And this beast is the thing that they said does it. So if they're gonna say we live in a simulation, then we don't live on a globe earth. We live inside of a machine that's running software. And they don't wanna change that, y'all. You can't have them both. You can't have them both, yeah, man. All the ancestors agreed we live in a simulation, and this is what they said the earth is right here. Look at it. Don't that make sense? For someone saying we live in a simulation, for them to personify the earth literally as the machine that would compute the source code. Don't that make sense? Show me how a fucking rock with water on it can compute a source code. This can, though. Now, it's amazing to me that the globe earthers will agree we may live in a simulation now. You don't even need gravity in a simulation, nigga. You don't need a theory of gravity for shit to stay on the ground in a simulation. You can just program it into that shit. If I want my people to fly right now, I can program that into my simulation. You can't say we live in a damn software, because once you say we live in a simulation, guess what they telling y'all? This shit can be hacked. Guess what Neo did? Neo hacked the Matrix and became God. They don't care about telling you we in a simulation. They don't want to tell you the rest, that we inside of a computer and your soul can hack you ain't bound by none of these laws. There's something called a Kundalini awakening. There's something that the ancestors talked about where they can be anywhere and everywhere, limitless, like the movies you see. They were basically time traveling to astral planes. So you can do that. That will explain deja vu, astral travel, because in a simulation now that makes sense, right? Because now what I'm doing, I'm just projecting my consciousness to other parallel realities. We have the because if our simulation is a copy of a base reality, there must be other several copies that we call what? Dreams. You see how deep this is? They want to talk about simulation theory, but they don't want to go this far with it. They don't want to go into what the ancestors were talking about, how to exit the simulation, because now we will be stepping on a space program feet. They got to control this narrative so it doesn't debunk the heliocentric model and space programs as they've been giving us. So the concept of a simulation theory is ancient, man. When the Bible say it was written, that meant that the code of the simulation was written before anything existed. See, the ancient people was talking about the simulation, but they didn't speak about it in the terminology we use today. So when an ancient person was telling you we're inside of the simulation, their way of telling you about the source code was saying, in the beginning was the word. That's the programming behind creation. You see what I'm saying? Now, you can take those words about in the beginning of the word was the word, and you can sync those with several other ancient cultures that talked about creation of a base reality pre-existing before this reality, and it was more of a inner world. They speak of it more like the binary code behind any computer software. Like it's the program behind the beautiful surface world that we see. And the programming ain't pretty, which is why when Neo woke up from the Matrix, the world behind the Matrix didn't look as good as the Matrix itself. But this is the price you pay to become God, saying the truth. Because what a lot of ancients say in a lot of scripts is that Earth was destroyed and souls were saved in simulations. Now you can read this theory in Maldak and Tiamat. You can read the flood with Noah. There are plenty ancients that got stories about the earth being destroyed and rebuilt. But what they're not telling us is that when they talk about the world ending and then a new earth rising up, because this is the terms they use. They say in the Bible specifically, the old earth was destroyed and a new earth arisen. Go read your book. As a child, I wondered what that meant. What does it mean that the old world faded away and the new world came into existence? You know what the ancient people was trying to tell us? That they was destroying their worlds and recreating new earths inside of simulations and shifting reality into those simulations with some sort of technology. There's no other explanation unless you want to believe in fairy tales. So when I introduce the technology, the scientific explanations, people will laugh at it and they will go back to the fairy tales and mythologies about people walking on water and stuff. What else do y'all want to talk about? Fairy tales, or you want to entertain the theories that I'm giving you? Because I think this is more of a mature conversation. So when we start saying Earth is a simulation, the whole world religious system got to shut down. Once we can prove that we're in a simulation, all the world religions is shut down. But let me get back to the video. I'm doing too much.
Is not the only dimension to reality. Other realms are thought to exist. Everything from Valhalla to Hades and heaven.
They will bring up words like Valhalla and Hades, but the people who created those words created them on a flat earth model. You can't have a Valhalla and a Hades and a globe model. Where is it? You got a solar system with Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, See what they doing, y'all? They trying to give you flat earth shit and their shit.
Some question whether our world is even real, theorizing that our reality is just an illusion created by the high.
You know, what's crazy is trying to act like the ancient people was not flat earthers. Even if you're not a flat earther, lying on the ancient people like they didn't think the earth was flat, that's crazy. When I was young, they taught us that. Today, they try to hide it all together. No one never thought the earth was flat. When they thought it was flat. And this shit is everywhere. And see, this is proof to me that we're living in a simulation. Because when you can deny the truth right in people's faces, that's proof that people's mind can be hacked if they're susceptible to programming.
Higher being.
That mean that it don't matter what's real, it matter what you can convince a person is real. And once you can convince them that, you can show them the truth right in that person's face and they will not see it. And you may think a person is an agent. You may think, man, this person is a Mason or something. I'm starting to believe these people just can't see the truth, man. They just can't.
Beings in these other dimensions. A simulation of sorts. I recently spent a couple of days with a proponent of this idea, an independent researcher named Danny Goller. And what is it that you...
And I ain't gonna lie, bro, I can't really call this research. Now, I know he got a lot of fancy equipment behind him and shit, but when you deduce what's going on down to what I'm saying, and I'm gonna play the video, it's a bunch of guys taking DMT playing with lasers like Star Wars, you know, lightsabers.
You're researching?
The connection between consciousness and matter.
Danny claims he discovered a technique to see into a different layer of reality.
Because this is the wrong path to go on if we want to talk about the connection between consciousness and matter. Because the connection between conscious and matter is simple. Life is but a dream. Consciousness is projecting an avatar of itself inside the dream called Bro Sanchez. And when consciousness wake up from the dream, it will no longer project itself there and you will fade away. That's it. That's the way the ancestors describe life. Remember, I didn't make up the proverb, life is but a dream. People that mapped out the fucking sky made that up. I wonder why they said it. I wonder why, if life is a simulation, why we use words like we need to wake up. We use words like wake up, wake up. So my whole thing is, you're in layers of your own consciousness. It's that simple. Just like dreaming and waking up. They want to complicate it because they don't want people to wake up. They want to still sell us programs that leave the research on how to get off of the earth or get out of the simulation into other people's hands. You see what I'm saying? Into it versus a universal spiritual system that the ancestors had on earth with flat earth that was teaching everyone the way out of here. Because when you read the story of the Babel Tower, everybody was working together. It was a beautiful earth, and everyone was building Babel Towers to the sky. What that mean? Jacob ladder, Kundalini awakening, spinal cord, central nervous system. See, the real laser that's gonna get us out of here is when you open up your third eye. That shit gonna be like Cyclops. So it's very crazy that they using these lasers when really the whole concept of beam me up, Scotty, it's the inner awakening within us, and it ain't gonna come. And now DMT ain't gonna free your damn soul from a simulation. That's another thing. It ain't no cheat code to Kundalini awakening. So even the ancestors that gave us DMT still taught the way out of here through self-work and mastery. So no one in the ancient world said, take this drug and you can break free from the simulation. That's another thing y'all got to stop believing too. Ain't no cheat code out of this. You got to still work on yourself.
Reality.
I am the discoverer or the claiming discoverer of a unique phenomena in that it is a repeatable experiment that people can do. I'm not suggesting that people should do it, but it just happens to be the case that if you ingest DMT and you project a diffracted laser on the surface, you will see what seems to be a self-executing code of
Seems to be. And if someone already telling your subconscious what to see, you can actually see that on DMT. Now, that's why people who, you can use DMT for evil reasons. You can actually make people see shit that you want them to see if you're good at this hallucinogen. And this is why people was called witches at some point too. You can, it's like hypnotization, but you can have motherfuckers on a back. You can actually invoke a crazy trip because everyone don't have a good trip on DMT, which is why before you take DMT, you need to be in a good state of mind, because DMT is going to throw up at you what's already in your subconscious. So let's say you got some hidden trauma back there that you don't even know is back. That's why they call it a trip. You're going on a trip within your own self. You know, but what I do hear a lot of people say is that have no expectations. One thing that I get from people who use DMT that stood out to me throughout the years, they said a lot of them, well, a lot of them don't say this, but a few of them I've heard say, just clear your mind and don't have no expectations at all. Just go where it go type shit. I don't know if that's good advice or not because I never tried it, but it sounds like it is. One thing about that advice is I can't clear my mind on my DMT trip if somebody automatically telling me what I need to see. So if I'm about to take some DMT and somebody's saying, look, when you look through here, you're going to see, that's like hypnotizing. If you know how DMT works, your subconscious will actually produce that for you. Think about what I'm telling you. A lot of Christians who take DMT will see Jesus. Don't that tell y'all something? It's kind of like if it's something you want to see, you'll see it. Or in some cases, what's weird, if it's something you need to see. But guess what we find out about DMT? It's personal. It ain't like we all go on a trip and come back with the same revelation. We all come back with our own unique experience that we needed to go through for us. Facts. Facts. I never heard a group of people on DMT tell me they saw the same thing. That's right. I'm just serious, bro. It ain't like that.
of some sort in the surfaces where you project the diffracted laser.
Like, I think you're robbing me in a way, because it's like, if I go on a trip, I don't really want no one telling me what I need to see. And I don't really know if, you know, because when you on DMT and you got these bright lights and stuff, that's another thing, because, you know, they do that in raves. They be on all of these hallucinogens and they got the little bright lights going. And I'm pretty sure a group of them can say, look, man, we saw an alien that landed right here and it fucking spoke to us, dude. And all of them are, fuck yeah, dude, no bullshit. We fucking saw it, bro. And you may think all of them crazy, but no, they all on the same trip. If you don't know about DMT, you can find yourself in some weird places. And if you doing this shit in a group, y'all all can go to these places together, which makes DMT real cool. I ain't gonna lie. It's one of those drugs, to me, that's the real space program. Because the only way out the earth is psychological. you're in a dream. And our ancestors was experimenting with these drugs. I shouldn't even call them drugs, but they was experimenting with these things to get out of their body and see beyond the veil. I don't think we're actually using it the right way today. And in instances like this, in America and the Western world, I think they watered it down. But I do think there are some people that you can go to still and actually practice this shit the ancient way, like what a Mayan would have done it, and to have a real, pure, genuine trip. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they've new aged a lot of this shit down too. You know what I'm saying?
What seems to be a very digital in nature, infinite clock that runs these weird symbols in it. And it seems to be something fundamental in that it doesn't really respond to anything that people do. So it doesn't really care who you are, where you are, when you are, the conditions of your mind, the temperature in the room. Doesn't matter if you're playing music, doesn't matter if you play frequencies, doesn't matter if you even introduce magnetic fields. It's just doing what it's doing.
That's another lie. That's another lie. That ain't how assimilation works. Guess what? Let me tell you something. The programming behind assimilation have to adjust for every action and every little minute change. Did you know that? In other words, if I want my desktop to be a different color right now, I can hit a button and make it that, but that changes a pattern of numbers behind the scene that we don't even see. In other words, back in the day, if you wanted to make a website on the internet, you literally had to program it. I remember that shit. I'm not that old, but I remember it. I'm from the Black Planet generation, MySpace. And if you wanted a website back in the day, it wasn't as simple as it is today. You had to learn a little coding a little bit, but to get your website layout. And any little change you wanted to make on your website, you had to go to the binary code. Even if I wanted to make my wall from black to white, I had to go behind the scenes to the binary code. And I remember them days, drop a one. For every change you make in a simulation, the coding have to adjust, which is why the coding is even in motion. Why have a living code that don't adjust to
Stupid.
Think about it. Why would the code be ignorant of the damn program that it's there to code? He said, this code is just moving all around you and it don't care about you. It gotta care about me. Matter of fact, I'm part of the code, stupid. That's right. How can you're talking like it's this rigid, separate thing that's just doing this thing in the background while we do ours? Don't you know that the double slit experiment debunks that? We have a direct connection with this code. We can edit this code. They don't want us to know we're the programmers, y'all. We're the programmers behind the source code of reality. Because guess what? If it's a dream, guess who's asleep? Don't you know in a dream, once you realize that you dreaming and you don't wake up, you start lucid dreaming and you become God because it's your world? Everybody can't relate to what I just said. To a lot of people, I sound real crazy, but to some of y'all that's been over there, you know what I'm talking about. If you lucid dream before, you know what I'm talking about. I've taken over whole worlds. I've lifted mountains in my dream. Don't you know when you in a dream and you realize you dreaming and you don't wake up, you ain't bound by none of the laws. It's almost like all of the laws of the universe, you can break them. Just like Neo in the Matrix. That's real shit, man. That's real, bro. That's what they're hiding. When they go to telling you we're in a simulation, don't look at what they telling you. Look at what they not telling you. Because when they start telling you something that we already know true, y'all late as hell. See, because when the government and the big time ABC and all them get in on the conversation, you got to look for the agenda of why they want in on this awakening. Because this don't even fit y'all model. They can't let this awakening happen without them trying to control the narrative and still apply it to this damn model that's finna die here soon. This is wrong. It's not just a source code doing its thing independently of us. You are your own source code that's connected to the main source code. All is connected. Just like a hacker can hack my computer right now, this simulation is connected like that. And when we wake up, we basically have access to everything. Like we'll be like hackers. There will be no limitations, like Neo in the Matrix. So to tell a person they're in a simulation and the coding behind it don't even care about them, it's doing its thing whether you like it or not, that's another way of telling you ain't no way out of here. Because once we find the code and we can't manipulate the code, what's the point? So they're there to tell you, yep, we found space, but ain't no life out there. Yep, we found the code, but it ain't got nothing to do with you at all. Ain't nothing to see. You just take the DMT and look at these numbers floating around. Yeah, that's science. Now let's go back to work, everybody. Oh, you want a science again? Okay, take another DMT. Now let's look in the laser. Now go back home. The key is they don't want people leaving this earth. They told you in the Bible the devil is here and he want to trap souls here with him. No one want to have the conversation about how to leave the earth unless we talking about NASA and space programs. But yet, if we admit that we're in a simulation, then we need to end the space program. Then we need to end world religion. So much stuff got to change if our science is now leaning towards simulation theory.
It really feels like you're looking through a microscope into a whole new world that you never knew existed.
It's not just letters that you see. There are geometries that present themselves. It makes it easier for multiple subjects to see the same thing at the same time. So I can see that geometry, and
Shout out to Fela B and to Joseph Welch. Thank y'all for the super chats. And shout out to the new members, Green Ranger, Black Hole, NF Earther, and Information Man. Appreciate all of y'all for the donations so far. Appreciate y'all. I mean, it's just a bunch of guys taking DMT, looking at shapes. Ooh. Ooh. Did you see that? Oh, it's a big old Hebrew ladder. Oh, it's a triangle. Let me take another hit of that DMT. Ooh, that one kind of looks like Barney a little bit. Ooh, it's a Chester the Cheeto Man that just popped up. Like, you know I gotta roast it, man. Let's go.
I can say to you, are you seeing this tetrahedron like in this position over here? Yes. And can you see the characters that are over here? Yes. Okay. What are these? Let's.
Okay, can you see that floating set of balls over there? Oh yeah, I see that. Those. Oh yeah, man. All right, can you see that? Come on, man. This is crazy. Hit the DMT again. You don't see it? You don't see that mayonnaise sandwich floating right there in the corner. It's right there. You don't see that. Listen, we all see the mayonnaise sandwich, Sanchez. This is. Come on,
Stupid.
sir. This ain't the kind of party I want to go to. I'm gonna be. Hey man, y'all see that white man getting beat up right there over there? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I love all people. I'm just joking because these guys are white. Have a sense of humor. But damn it, man, this is weird stuff.
Let's match these characters and make sure that we're seeing the same thing.
And everybody gonna lie, right? I see it too, and I see it too, and I see it too. That ain't science, that's consensus. So if I don't see it, then what? Well, then you're just wrong. Something wrong with your eyes because all of us see it. And if we get enough people to say we see it, then, hey, it's real. No, that ain't how science works. You still got to prove it, man. And y'all on DMT.
Danny and his business partner Carter are having others participate in the experiment to gather as much information as they can about this phenomenon.
And you know when the mainstream media get involved, and I bet you this gonna become a Netflix movie, right? And it's just a bunch of crap. Like, man, and I hate to shit on it like this, but it's a distraction, man. So we just gonna wake up every day, take motherfucking DMT, and look at Hebrew characters floating in a laser and ask everyone else, do you see it? You don't see it? Hold up, give him another hit, Brad. Hold on, let's get him high. Hit it again. Okay, so what you should see in the top right corner is Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny chasing each other. You don't see it? Hit it one more time. You see it again? Okay, now this time what we're seeing front and center, directly right in front of you is Bam Bam Bigelow. Do you see him? You never heard of Bam Bam Bigelow? Hey, Chad, you got a phone? Google Bam Bam Bigelow. Let's tell him what he should be seeing.
The real game here is making sure that we're setting this up for the maximum odds that someone is going to see the content. So it will work up against like this foam sort of material in this particular Faraday cage, but the real ideal is to use something that has like a not too reflective surface, but a very matte surface. And this one seems to be set up pretty well. So we're gonna set this thing up so that we can give people the best odds of success.
The best odds of success. If it's there, it's there, man. I mean, listen. If there's a blue car in the backyard and I ask 100 people if they see it, I don't gotta do all, let me give them the best odds of success. Let me know, man. Look back there. You see it? You see that blue car? Oh yeah, I see the blue car. Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it. This is very quite different, sir. This is deceptive. You gotta dope a nigga up, tell him what to see, give him the best odds to see it. This ain't science. This convincing motherfuckers why their mind is altered on a substance, sir.
I met Danny and Carter at Falcon Space, a lab in New Jersey researching alternative propulsion methods. Mark, the owner of Falcon Space, and 2 others were going to take part in Danny's experiment to try to see the code.
It is so sad that they calling this shit an experiment. The fact that they calling this shit an experiment let me know that the word experiment just don't hold no more weight to it. So niggas sitting around taking DMT, looking for shit in a hallucinogen state. Listen what I'm telling you. You're on a hallucinogen. And a hallucinogen is doing what it's supposed to do. How is that an experiment? That's like me hitting a weed and when I get high and this genius experiment that he's doing, well, let me show you my experiment. If that shit's an experiment, this one. Ooh, let me look through this bottle. Ooh, I see Hebrew numbers and shit. Ooh, I see Asian letters, look. It ain't a fucking experiment. Now, if you want to say it's a spiritual trip, I can't even call it that. Because guess what happened in a real trip? You literally go to sleep and wake back up. And when you wake back up, you tell us where you went. That's why it's called a trip. How it's a trip if they didn't go nowhere? We took DMT and saw some Hebrew ladders floating in a damn laser. Boring. What a waste of DMT. Y'all suck.
I think we're going to mount some cameras in here too, just to make sure that we're getting, people seeing it for the first time.
We know that y'all like Star Wars, man. They saw them lasers in Star Wars and they was high on some, and they found a way to turn that shit to a religion.
Appropriately. So we're going to work through some of that.
Danny and Carter were also filming for a documentary that is being made about their...
What I told you, a documentary. It's gonna be some channel gonna pick this up because it promotes the agenda. Because they know simulation theory is taking off. And this documentary here maintains their established order while still it's controlling the narrative. It's controlling the narrative. People gonna start, I'm telling you, bro, talking more about simulation theory, but they never gonna question the globe Earth. And the way that they're controlling this narrative is like, okay, we see numbers floating in a fucking laser. Why are we not talking about Enoch? Why are we not talking about the ancestors that was talking about ascension and seeing beyond the veil? Now that you're telling us we're in a simulation, why we ain't pissed off at physics and science and Isaac Newton and the evolution theory? How is it that we're saying we subscribe to simulation theory, but that don't translate to we gotta rewrite all the books and change everything we thought we knew? We're trying to force this on a bullshit view of reality that it don't apply to. And now it distorts this truth, and that's on purpose. And it ain't gonna make us respond how we should, and that's what they want. Because what people should really do is rise up when they find this out. They should say, wait a minute, so you telling me Neil deGrasse Tyson, the church, the scientists, the governments, the space program, all of them been lying to us since we was... That's what you ought to say, because if you find out you in a matrix, like Neo, and the people in the matrix been telling you you on a blue rock floating in space, but yet you find out you're in a fucking computer and Earth is a digital program. That's what Neo found out, y'all. But no one never say, oh, now I see why the space programs got the symbol of a serpent tongue, and NASA in Hebrew means deceive. The Bible said that old serpent that deceiveth the whole world. They're talking about the space programs. Those are the ones that won't let these souls know how to get up out of this thing. And the globe Earth and the space program, that's what keeps souls trapped. Because they think, well, ain't no way off this earth until we get the right technology versus meditation, spiritual work. You see what I'm saying? That's the war that they're fighting against. They don't want the whole world going within, activating their third eye. Because again, we're in a matrix. And if enough people wake up at one time, guess what? This program ain't got unlimited processing power. We can crash the matrix. If enough people right now wake up and start using a lot of thought power, every thought we have, this computer program gotta process it. If too many people start thinking too deep and there's too many geniuses and nerds, this entire false world will fucking dissipate. The veil will be removed. Because just like any computer program, it don't got unlimited processing power, And when you start trying to make it do too much processing, it can crash. That's why they want to keep everybody dumbed down. Because if everybody dumbed down, they don't got to worry about what I just said.
Research, hoping to capture the reactions of people witnessing the code for the first time.
One of the things that we find a lot is that the filming of the lights itself is the least interesting part. The filming of the response I have found to be the most fun. And it's because the response is very consistent.
They refer to the characters that appear in the laser as the code of reality, thinking that what
That's blasphemous to say that the code of reality is gonna be written in the youngest goddamn language. Come on, people, that's a Zionist agenda. And I'm opening up the call lines in a minute. Make sure y'all like and share the show. That's blasphemy, bro. You talking about the code, the source code of our Earth simulation is gonna be written in a language that is a mutation of other older languages. Come on, bro, that's silly. You're silly, bro, you're silly.
what they are seeing is the source code of the simulation we live in.
We are living in a computational world. In fact, the constituents of what makes up the real world is.
Why the fuck, bro? How can a binary code be in Hebrew alphabets? We got to have numerical digits. See, you can pull this off to a world that's dumb as hell. Oh, it's crazy how dumbed down the world is, man.
Is actually computational. It's like the Matrix, but in reverse. It's the opposite of what is shown in the movie. So in the movie, we're in the Matrix, which is the computational world. It's the fake world. And we're trying to get back to the real world. In reality, the computational world is the real world. And we are in a subset from that real world that we call real, physical, but it's actually just a.
And ain't none of the shit he's saying new. This the shit flat earthers been teaching. Well, I can't say all myself. And I've been giving props to the people who taught this before me. I just did a lecture about it the other day, about our world is just a projected realm that's coming from a base reality. That's all he's saying. Why not simplify it? And here go the images you need to be looking at right here. We're in the underworld. They call it the upside down. Our world is merely a reflection upon the primordial waters, or what they call the ether. Which is why all the ancestors said, when we die, we're gonna rise up from the waters below. And that's what baptism is. When they pull you up from the water, you're a new person. It's a new you in a higher realm. Going to heaven, the world we in is a reflected water, is a reflected world that's said by Plato and many other ancients to exist within these ethers, which are like a bunch of oceans like the one I'm showing you here. So like how you have an ocean below an ocean, and it's projecting, each ocean is projecting its own version of this base reality at the top. So according to the ancients, it's one real world and there's many fake worlds, because the underworld is 7 different oceans that won't mix with each other. And each ocean is reflecting the base reality in its own water. This is how the ancestors was describing this thing. So there's symbolism all around to back this up, you know, and they're trying to hijack ancestral concepts while leaving out the ancestral cosmology. And that's so wrong, man. Because the concepts they're adopting don't even apply to the globe Earth. Flat Earth is literally saying we live in a computer that's intelligently designed. So we can have simulation theory because we got the model for it.
a tiny subset in a much larger computational space, much larger operational space. But for all intents and purposes, the state that I'm occupying inside is not one of thinking that maybe, but one of absolute knowing. We absolutely live in a simulation, and it is simulated by another civilization. It's not just like random laws or something like this.
The idea that we're living in a simulation has been explored by science fiction for decades. Philosophers have speculated on this subject for thousands of years. Plato's allegory of the cave tells the story of people living in a cave since infancy. They are forced to face the cave walls.
Now, I've been researching Plato's cave, which is why I can pull up my work on the fly. Here go a concept of Plato's cave. See, they don't want to show y'all the shit. You see, they want to give you music and little bitty caves. Think about this, right? Plato said we live in a cave, but they literally gave you a real fucking cave, y'all, when Plato was talking about the goddamn firmament dome. You see how deceptive they are? These people are fucking deceptive. These people are they know what they doing. Let me show you, man. They don't know nothing about Platonism. Guess what? When you talk about Platonism, which was the name of Plato's system, Platonism, if you take the P and the L off, guess what you get? Atonism. Guess what? Another dude is this pharaoh right here who taught what Plato was teaching. His name is Aton. His shit was called Atonism. Plato's shit was called Platonism. And in the modern day, they call it Satanism or Satanism. And the veil is what you call the devil, which the word devil is the veil, which is this net over you, the false light. We're in a holographic simulation. There's nothing physical about this place. It's a digital program. We haven't seen the physical world yet. We're waiting to be born into the physical world above. The ancestors said we haven't seen physical. The ancestors said you reaching the real physical world, you reach it in stages. You're a damn ghost right now that's trying to ascend up to heaven to your body. And you're not your damn, this ain't your body, this your damn spirit that you in right now. You're yet to be born in heaven in your God body, which is what the Hindu was showing us right here with the God at the top. He's now manifested, he's lived his last life and death cycle. They don't want to bring the spirituality back into it. They don't want to end the world religious system. They don't want to break up physics. They don't want to rewrite science. They want to find a way to blend this deep knowledge to their shitty ass model, and it sucks. It just sucks, man. They literally got the lie on Plato right now. Plato left behind symbolism to show you what he was talking about when he talked about the cave, and they don't want to show y'all that, man. These folks literally showed y'all a real fucking cave, bro. That broke my heart right there. Because the average person don't see the deception. Here go the cave that Plato was talking about. All you got to do is pull up Plato Atlantis and you will see that Plato was giving us the same flat earth shit that I'm giving you. Look at this. It's a ripple effect. It's Saturn. Look, this flat earth right here. It's a quantum computer. How the fuck you bringing up Plato, but you don't want to talk about flat earth? You rather give them a real cave, but this is the symbolism Plato left behind. Why didn't you? How you gonna bring up Plato and not show the man work? Because you don't want them to know Plato was a flat earther. And that Dante Inferno is the flat earth too. Dante Inferno is the quantum computer too. These people are fucking devils, man. They know this shit because they bringing these people up. They know damn well Plato was a flat earther. And they know that Plato's cave was the firmament dome. But they can't show you that. So what did they go to and play with your intelligence? They went to a fucking... Think about this, right? If Plato was talking about a real cave, why would he call it an allegory? If it's an allegory, why do y'all take it literally? Y'all doing the same thing with religion. That's right. All of these religions are allegories. They're symbolism to tell a deeper knowledge. But what they do, they push it as literal shit. So now they're trying to make it like, well, Plato's cave mean the simulation. But you showing a real cave don't show the mechanism that Plato was saying that's running the simulation. It's deceptive. Plato was giving you a goddamn quantum computer. Plato was describing technology. Look at this. This the Babel Tower. So think about what I'm telling you. They're trying to force this on a globe model, which why throughout this video you keep seeing the globe Earth. This is crazy, man. Like once you say we in a simulation and it's got a source code, show me the computer that's running the simulation and the source code, nigga. Because a fucking blue ball, a rock with water on it, floating through space, can't compute a fucking source code. That ain't technology. Go pick up a rock off the ground, put some water on it, make it stick, and show me how that can produce a computerized digital program life, a simulation, a matrix. Once y'all say we live in a simulation, I'm looking for the computer now. I'm not looking for a ball earth. Y'all letting them mind fuck y'all. It's so crazy that the people now can come out and say we live in a simulation while keeping the same globe earth model. That's crazy. You know what Morpheus told Neo? Everything you've been taught your whole life was a lie, Neo, and you live in a computer and you're a fucking battery. Morpheus told Neo the earth was flat. You can't have a simulation without flat earth. It's based upon a plane. Have you ever played a freaking video game? You ain't never played Grand Theft Auto. It's one flat map. And when you make it to the boundaries of the game, you can't go no further. There's something like an invisible wall holding you back. Guess what the ancestors said? If you travel out far enough, you're gonna reach an electromagnetic invisible barrier of energy that nothing can pass through. Smells like digital simulation video game type shit, sir. Especially if the only way out is death. What's that telling you? That your body is your gaming avatar. And that inside of your body, what you calling your soul is your player, is the real player in another world doing this. Guess what psychologists found out from years of research? Every action we take out, our brain, I want you to listen closely to what I'm about to say because it may go over your head. Every action that you perform, your mind acts like you already did the action before you even think about it. Take about 30 seconds and just let that shit sink in. Let that sink in a minute. I'm gonna say it again slow. And I want you to let this shit marinate. What scientists found out, and the CIA been knew this. Every action you take, your mind treats the action like you already took it before you even thought about it. I don't know if you, this means that before you even think about doing something, your mind treats it like you already did it before your body is even aware of the thought, let alone you doing the action. Take a minute and think about that, bro. That's crazy. That means that there's another reality behind this one that's already writing out shit before it even happened, before it even becomes a thought in this layer of reality. Now it makes sense when the Bible said, in the beginning was the word, everything was already written out and we just letting it play out like a script and we the characters on a stage. That's why they had a concept called prophecy, that everything that's written gotta be fulfilled. That's simulation talk. If I create a copy of this earth and I'm able to have the power to write out everyone's script in my world, because I just copied your avatar into my world. So the whole concept of waking up is breaking the pre-written script and realizing that you're God, not the pre-written script that you're performing, your role playing. You're playing a character. And until we stop acting out the role, we're going to keep reincarnating. This is the Saturnian system. This is what Plato was teaching. These people don't want to go this deep with it. They don't want to disrupt the order, y'all, but it's inescapable. We in the Aquarian age.
Behind them is a fire which their captors use to create shadows on the wall in front of them. Their entire lives, what they think is reality, is nothing more than shadow puppets. Zhuangzi, the ancient Chinese philosopher, had the butterfly.
Don't you know Jesus getting out of his tomb? That whole story. Watch this right here. Let me show you artwork real quick from Plato's cave. Here is the artwork from Plato's cave. What this showing is a man who woke up like Neo in the Matrix. He woke up, right? And he left the cave, which is the fake world, through awakening like all of us doing. Now, this story of a man waking up and leaving the cave, watch this. In the modern world, this is what they give you. Now, all of you Christians, y'all got this story of Jesus resurrecting and walking out the tomb. And guess what y'all ain't realizing? This is a plagiarization of Plato's cave. What these Christians don't realize is that a lot of concepts that they got come from Plato. Let's give the man his props. Plato influenced Christianity. And Plato influenced Christianity like no one else. I got an entire documentary on it, but it's pay-per-view. But if you wait long enough, I'll make it public on YouTube. I'm about to upload that and I'm about to redo my pay-per-view stuff. I'll be having new stuff, but that's neither here nor there. What you gotta realize, Plato was a big influence in the early church. And a lot of the early Christians and Gnostics adopted Platonic concepts. But and one thing we gotta learn about Plato, what he get a lot of his concepts from Egypt. I keep showing you this right here. See, what people not telling y'all, because they want to fool the world, when you go to Egypt and you look at all the step pyramids in Egypt, guess what? They try to tell y'all these pyramids are old mistakes. This shows you the evolution of pyramid building with us trying to get it right. But guess what? In the ancient world, the step pyramids was the most revered out of all of them. And you got to ask yourself why. The step pyramid was there to teach about the stairway to heaven. The step pyramid was there to resemble what the earth is. The step pyramid is the chakra system. It's 7 chakras for every world. So what was the step pyramid called in Egypt? Saqqara, which is what? The word chakra. You see? The step pyramid in Egypt is called Saqqara, but the word Saqqara is the Egyptian way of saying Saqqara, Saqqara. So let me pull up this for you. The reason why the step pyramid don't have a capstone is because the highest chakra is the crown, and the crown chakra is invisible. The crown chakra isn't bound by any of the lower chakras, which is like your emotional bodies. Those are like your devils. That's like wrath, envy, jealousy, them the 7 deadly sins. The crown chakra ain't part of the lower 6. It ain't really a deadly sin associated with the crown. So 6 is the number of man, because those lower 6 chakras below the crown exist within man. But the crown chakra exists outside of you because that's a connection to your higher self. That's your gateway out of the lower realm. So, but what I was saying was, you look like an uncapped pyramid because the highest cap was called the invisible one, or the hidden one. It's represented by an all-seeing eye. It's the unseen world that creates the seen world. So Christmas tree with the star at the top, that's the crown chakra. It was all about the chakras, y'all. Saqqara, the step pyramid, was teaching about the ascension of the soul through your lifetimes, which are lessons that you gotta learn before you can seek yourself in your God body. So we're in school. We're in a simulation, a well-designed computer mechanism that was created by ancient advanced civilizations. And guess what? What that is? That's just a template, a program we call Earth. But your soul wasn't created by them. Your soul is experiencing a mechanism. Yeah, I gotta talk like that. We got to use these kind of words so we can stop looking at our world as some random mishap from a big bang, some rock floating through space. That's the lie. We're in a simulation. In one, not on a rock. You're inside of something. You're not on a simulation. You're in one. And that requires a mechanism now to explain my reality. So Plato was trying to explain this quantum computer. So was Dante with the Inferno. Dante's Inferno got all of the planes of the earth stacked together. Each one is aligning with a chakra, because you got to overcome that part of that chakra to break free from that world. You know, it's a very world organized system. This thing was called Saturn. It was called a golden calf. And if you look at the golden calf, you can see it got these rings on it. They hid technology, y'all. This baby going in the golden calf was them putting you in the matrix. All of us got put in the golden calf. We're here now. So they were saying that, well, your ancestors were so damn stupid, they were sacrificing babies to gods to make their plants grow and stuff. It's so sad how our ancestors created all this advanced technology, and they got the whole world thinking that your ancestors was some spookism type, voodoo type, magician, witchcraft type shit. When we was experimenting with the same technology Elon Musk and all these niggas got, and they getting all the praise. We invented this stuff. But when you asked about what we was doing, they said we was worshiping ugly gods and sacrificing our babies to them. When really, we was refining souls inside of matrices. We were so spiritually advanced. And we're in one of those matrices now. Our ancestors didn't want no souls to be trapped inside of this thing. They was telling people the truth, what I'm telling them now. But these people is corrupting the stuff. Jesus said a kingdom of heaven is within. If that's true, what are we doing with a space program? There's a reason why the Bible say no flesh and blood can enter the heavens, enter the kingdom of heaven. What the people who wrote the Bible call the kingdom of heaven, we call it space. We say up there is space. They didn't call it space. They called it the heavenly kingdoms above them, the kingdoms of heaven. And when they said that can't no flesh enter the kingdom of heaven, they was talking to people that was trying to lie to folks like what they doing today with space programs. They was telling people like NASA and others, you can't get off the earth and go to the heavens physically. You got to do it with an out-of-body experience. And the substance that our ancestors was using to leave the earth was DMT, which leads back to the video at hand. When they talk about DMT, they want people to sit in front of some boring-ass lasers and stare at Hebrew characters. When if you go and talk with a real shaman and you go on a real trip, you gonna leave your body and go to a whole nother parallel reality playing out a whole nother role. They're watering this shit down, y'all. I wouldn't want to take DMT with them because they literally watering this shit down like this. This is the westernized way to try to keep their lie going, but incorporate a lot of ancient concepts like DMT and simulation. Fuck out of here. That's the new age, new world order shit. That's the fake awakening. That ain't the grassroots shit.
And there's the more modern brain in a vat thought experiment, very similar to the movie The Matrix. All of these questioning whether what we experience and believe is actually real. Now, simulation theory has moved beyond the pages of science fiction and philosophical thought experiments. The idea of a simulated reality is being taken seriously by many.
Someone programs a universe, and in there they gain maturity and technology, and then they program a universe, and then they program a universe. So you can have nested simulated.
But you can't have none of this with a globe Earth. Because each simulation is another Earth, dummy. And if you got Earths inside of Earths inside of Earths, that wouldn't work on a globe model. But guess what model allow for you to have a Earth inside of a Earth inside of a Earth, y'all? Let me show you which model allow you to do that. The model Plato was talking about. Look, you got a Earth inside of a Earth inside of a Earth inside of a Earth. So everything they saying debunks their model and prove ours. But if they don't, you know why they saying it though? Because if we say it first, we're gonna bring up all this, the fact that it debunks their model and that this is flat Earth. They're stealing our stuff. But why would you steal it though? Why would you do this? Because they know the only viable explanation at the end of the day is simulation theory. And if you don't know why now, you will see later in your journey. But they know that it's a chess game. And what they gotta do, they gotta beat us to the punch with introducing this if they're gonna get ahead of this thing and control the narrative. Because they know this is a nail in the coffin for the globe model. These people say that the universe is not intelligently designed. Neil deGrasse Tyson just did a stream the other day where he was banging on intelligent design And in the next week, he'll be talking about we in a simulation, as if a simulation isn't an intelligent design. And ain't no one thinking this deep. Where is the nerds at in the world? I feel fucking lonely. Everyone just listen to what these niggas say and think that they gods or something. You can challenge these folks. They don't know everything. They got incentives and reasons to lie to you. I don't.
Universes all the way down, but there's only one real universe. Now throw a dart at all those universes. Which one are you most likely to hit? A simulated universe.
Don't you know, if there's an intelligent designer that created our Earth simulation, that means that every galaxy and every other planet will have some kind of life on it, you dummy? Why would I waste a whole fucking computer program and hard drive and processing power just to make a planet that rains acid all fucking day? I'm an intelligent designer. I created a beautiful simulation called Earth, but all of my other simulations are just boring ass wastelands. Who wastes computer power for that? Who would use a whole fucking hard drive just to make it rain fire when ain't nobody looking? But yet you telling me in a simulation it's very efficient with processing power, so it ain't gonna create the world in front of you till you actually look there. You telling me that in a simulation it don't like to waste processing power, so it ain't gonna make shit behind me until I look there. Cause it don't wanna waste no energy in processing power, but yet we live in a simulated universe that's just wasting processing power to create worlds with nothing going on. Why would I waste all of that data, energy, processing power to make a super Earth? A world with just an infinite ocean, ain't no fish in it or nothing. It's just water, and ain't nobody even know it's there. It's just sitting there. You know how much data that's wasting? But this same creator is so concerned with data usage that it's very careful to not create the next vision beyond the horizon line till I walk there. Cause they don't want to waste power. Y'all sound stupid. And I got the mind, I should be a lawyer for this shit here. I can put, cause you can't get no bullshit past me when it come to this kind of stuff, bro. Come on, man, hit the like button and share button, man. This is crazy, bro. This it's so much wrong with this, bro.
Some estimates say that there is a 50-50 chance that we are in a simulation. Part of Danny's goal researching the code of reality is to find a way to prove simulation theory to be true.
Now we're actually trying to prove this scientifically. So we have a couple of physicists on board, engineers, and we're trying to think about this in more.
And that's what I'm saying. When you try to prove a spiritual, because think about it. When they talk about the invisible programming behind the physical world, you're talking about the spiritual realm. Science don't dive into the spiritual realm. When they said we're trying to prove this scientifically, well, if your science don't account for the unseen world, you'll never prove it. Physics only deal with the physical realm. You're trying to look for an invisible code. Oh my fucking God, this is crazy. When you say let's prove this scientifically, you're saying let's use physical mechanisms to find something invisible. The only thing that will definitively prove the spiritual realm is the spirit in your goddamn body that need to be activated. Imagine that. Imagine some spiritual beings saying, let me find the right equipment to prove the spiritual realm. Real quick. Look for it. I got to prove the existence of this spiritual realm with physics, even though my spirit ain't physical.
Stupid.
Coherent terms. Is there something we can actually show, prove, so we can actually, put something on paper that makes sense even to a mainstream science?
Because it don't make no sense to just say we all spiritual beings and that the world around us is a simulation and that the real world is the realm that our spirit resides in. That don't make sense. We need a way to describe this with a bunch of physics jargon and overcomplicated bullshit.
Scientists that won't necessarily do the experiment themselves.
As Danny suggests, one of the requirements of this experiment precludes a lot of people from attempting it. That is the DMT component.
Dimethyltryptamine, which is what DMT stands for, is a neuromodulator. Your body makes it naturally. We don't exactly know what its function currently in our metabolism, but there's recent studies, for example, one by Dr. John Dean with rats. He discovered that they have comparable amounts of dimethyltryptamine in their intracranial liquid to dopamine and serotonin during waking hours. What this means, in simple terms, everybody knows what dopamine and serotonin are.
He finna reach like a motherfucker right here. Cause we saw this in rats. What this mean? What this mean is that, come on. He finna reach.
You have certain amounts of those in the blood and intracranial liquid every day, and they're responsible for a big chunk of how you feel and everything. It is the same average amount of dimethyltryptamine in your intracranial liquid, or at least for rats, as dopamine and serotonin, which means it plays some fundamental role somehow in your way of experiencing the world. What it's actually doing, we don't know. It's a very simple molecule. And when you smoke it, so you add more to the system, the feeling is that you're perceiving more of what reality is. Like there's more channels open up. Like it's almost like it's responsible for perception itself. That's what it feels like. Now that's obviously speculative.
As Danny mentioned,
this is more so about DMT than it is the source code or the simulation. It's damn near like a gateway into a new drug addiction, if you ask me.
DMT, when ingested, alters the subject's perceptions. Because of this, it is considered a hallucinogen and psychedelic drug.
The way they promote it, now don't get me wrong, I want to try DMT, but not from them. Because I'm telling y'all, every trip ain't equal. Like someone can introduce you to something like, let's say that, I don't know, man, the first time you tried wine, it was a horrible brand. So you hate wine. I think going into the DMT realm this way is a disservice to it, me personally.
The United States classifies DMT as a Schedule I controlled substance.
Because it really waters down why we even using the DMT. Because a person telling you, hey man, take the DMT and you're gonna see Hebrew letters floating around in a laser, and that's proof we in a simulation. Now let's go home until the next time you wanna see it again. Versus, and if you go and deal with a real shaman, and again, I haven't done this. Some of you have. I'll open up the call line, but I know I'm right about this. Some of you who took a real trip with a real shaman or a real guru, Because you don't just supposed to be taking this shit like what they doing and do. You supposed to first take like a week to clear your mind and do like a little, you supposed to prep for this shit. This like a pilgrimage or like a Hajj. It's literally gonna be a out of body experience. So when I heard people talk about DMT trips, the kind of trip that I was trying to have is when you literally go to sleep. And in your sleep on this shit, you go to places that you can't go to staring into a laser woke. See, my nigga, I'm a deep diver. I astro travel. I be going places in the night when I'm asleep. But I can't control it though. People told me there's something I can use to control this in this DMT. That's how you use it. They playing games with this shit, y'all. They scared of it for real. I'm telling you, they watering it down, bro. They not really trying to get out their body. They scared of it. They trying to stay in their body and look at little numbers on a laser. But that ain't what you use the DMT for. You use it to go on a trip. You ain't went nowhere. We still in your room looking at lasers. That's a waste of DMT, my nigga. That's a watered down teaching of going on a trip, if you ask me. It's a scary cat way. People, and guess what? When you go online, people be talking about don't open up your third eye and all that and all. Y'all scared for real, bro, if you ask me. Because the real way that the ancestors said, y'all keep running from it, going with this watered down shit. Let's literally strip off the body and travel to these other ethers and these other realms. Because they watering this space program down. This is what the ancestors were saying about your trip. If you do it right, you can lead this bitch like NASA. You the real NASA when you go on this trip. The ancestors that would experiment with this shit, they would go into a deep sleep. When you read about John of Patmos, Enoch, and all them, some could argue they left their body on DMT or substances like it. Some people say they were aliens, they were angels. Guess what I think? I think they was just a bunch of people smoking the right weed, taking the right shit in a sleep state, and they was able to have sort of substances to guide them in the sleep realm, so we can kind of edit the nature of how we dream. We can kind of dial up certain dream worlds, certain parallel realities, and we can get control over our dream state with these substances. We can kind of create a system of governing the sleep state with DMT. It was like the ancient form of editing dreams, but it ain't dream editing, it's dialing up which parallel reality I want to go to. But I don't think people really leaving the earth. I think they're going inside of their own fantastical hallucinations and imaginations. That is like a very kindergarten form of DMT tripping. Even though I never took it, I know something about it. But I know it's levels to it. You know how long I've been doing YouTube? So a lot of people come up telling me about their trip. And I realize, it's levels to this. There is a level where you're just hallucinating. You ain't left nowhere. See, a lot of people think, man, I went to other worlds when I was hallucinating. And I'm like, well, bro, you still explaining the same earth to me, distorted. Because they'll be like, look, I was with my brothers, or I was at a certain event, and the trees started being like water and the grass changed colors. Well, you still on this earth, you're just distorting your reality here. And that's why, like, I will be careful what kind of DMT I take too. The ancients talked about a substance that you can literally take and you will go into a deep sleep and you will literally be lucid dreaming and be like dreaming in another reality, but you will know it. Like When we always say, okay, I want a lucid dream, I want to astral project, the ancestors had certain substances to make this shit easier for us to do this, is what I'm saying. And they don't want to let us know the proper way of using those substances and what the earth is and how to get out of here. Because again, now you're going against the space programs. They the ones that's got a monopoly on telling everybody how to get out of here and what out of here look like, which is space.
But it is the subject of several scientific studies around.
Let me welcome my new members, Real Blissora and King Scorpion. I would like to thank y'all for becoming members of this channel.
Around the world. Some indicate that it may have potential therapeutic benefits for treating anxiety and depression. DMT has been used in traditional medicines for probably thousands of years. Perhaps its most famous application is as the psychoactive ingredient in ayahuasca, a South American brew made from the ayahuasca vine and the leaves of a plant containing dimethyltryptamine.
You notice that them people ain't looking into no lasers, right? If you was to go to talk to this tribe, they would tell you you're in a dream world and ayahuasca can temporarily awaken you from the dream so that you can see beyond the veil at other realities beyond this earth. This is what those tribes would tell you. They wouldn't tell you that there's a source code behind this reality that's written in fucking Hebrew. Now, the people that's taking DMT, they learned about DMT from these tribes. Wasn't nobody taking DMT before these tribes. So how did y'all find the Hebrew source code before this tribe? I'll wait.
Stupid.
Remember, these tribes mapped the whole sky out. Ain't nobody got a more accurate calendar than the Mayans. These are the same people that created alphabets and language, y'all. But they didn't find the Hebrew alphabet floating around on a DMT trip, even though they created the fucking Hebrew alphabet. The ancient Hebrews talked about a flat earth. The ancient Hebrews didn't even talk about a source code written in Hebrew. They talked about what Plato was talking about, every man projecting himself into the lower realm from his higher self in the higher realm. So even the Hebrew disagree that you can look through some lasers and see the Hebrew code. You get what I'm saying? This tribe, what you think this tribe would say if you walk up to them and say, hey man, we live in a simulation and you can see the code of it right here in these lasers is written in Hebrew. That damn chief gonna laugh at you, gonna say, thank you, but thank you, I'm okay, thank you. Cause this dude already astral projecting. These folks is going out their body every night. They traveling to parallel realms. You can't come to them with no bullshit. They know how ayahuasca work and what DMT is made for. And they ain't staring into no lasers with it. They know if you go to that man and say, bro, I want to go on a trip, you literally gonna leave. It's called a trip for a reason. And that man, I think is disrespectful for us to be, you know, the way that we using DMT and trying to explain the nature of reality. It directly goes against the people that gave us the DMT and what they were saying about reality.
That's right. Ayahuasca is traditionally administered by curanderos and shamans during spiritual practice.
During what kind of practice? Spiritual practice, not scientific and physics. These people ain't looking for a scientific explanation behind this shit. Because science is stupid as hell. because science don't like to deal with spiritual shit. But yet you got to go to these tribal people when we talk about DMT because it was spiritual technology. Y'all notice that science keep finding itself in the jungle among these tribes, asking questions and shit while coming back over here telling us they know everything. Why don't you just go to the tribe yourself and get the knowledge and cut out the middleman? That's what Sanchez did. I connected directly with my ancestors because the middleman is getting the game from out the jungle and watering it down to create a system of control.
For healing and visioning. Many users of ayahuasca report intense mystical experiences and spiritual revelations, often accompanied by visiting other realms and even seeing entities.
You notice that they said these folks be hallucinating and seeing entities. And what entity did they show you? A fucking alien. Not your grandma, not your mama. Because what the shaman gonna tell you is that you're gonna have to consort with your demons when you go on a trip. What are your demons? Your demons are the other yous that exist in parallel realities that's going through something that you need to learn here. All of the yous are connected. A person that may have a bad relationship with their mother, when they take their trip, they may go to a parallel reality where them and their mother got the best relationship ever. And they may wake up from that dream calling up their mama, want to spend time every day. This is the shit I hear about DMT. Drop a one if y'all know what I'm talking about. They watering it down. This shit is way deeper when you get it from the tribes, bro. Each person gonna go into a parallel reality on a trip, and they're gonna have an experience that's relevant to their life here. It's deeper than what they're talking about with this laser experiment, bro. It just waters it down. It takes away the deepness of it and how it can this can be the end of antidepressants and psychological trauma because it literally allowed a person to go within and confront the flaws in their psyche. Therapy can't even do this. Not at the level that these shamans boast that the trip will do for you. Because you ain't talking to a stranger, you're directly talking to the inner person within that's carrying the problem, who know about the problem. You're literally going into your own mind and confronting the thing that is blocking your life. That's the purpose of this trip. It ain't to play games and look at shit floating around. This shit is a self-journey of self-mastery, and they watering it down, man, for real.
And spiritual revelations, often accompanied by visiting other realms and even seeing entities.
Now, guess what? If you believe in aliens, you gonna see aliens on your DMT trip. If you believe in Jesus, that's what you gonna see. But that's what I keep telling y'all. It don't really do you no good to do DMT if you got a religion. That's right. DMT is for spiritual people because DMT only gonna show a religious person what the fuck they wanna see. In other words, according to people that do DMT and the ancestors, DMT will lie to you if you want to be lied to. And DMT will tell you the truth if you want the truth. We think that DMT just gonna tell us the truth because we took it. That is not what they say about it. DMT gonna show every man what the fuck they want. And if what you want to see on a DMT trip is stronger than what you need to see, then guess what? your want gonna outweigh your need on a DMT trip, nigga. That's right. If you wanna see an alien that bad on a DMT trip, then you ain't gonna see what you need to see. That's all I'm saying. This thing is acting, it's responding to you as well while you taking it. This is why no two people got the same trip. No two people see the same entities. The people that said they saw aliens, guess what? They've been believing in aliens. The people that said, man, I saw Jesus on my trip, you been a Christian. You believing people need to quit taking DMT because it ain't for y'all. It's only gonna show you the shit you wanna see. See, DMT was made for people that's willing to clear their mind and open their mind, and they saying, listen, I don't wanna see nothing. Just show me what I need to see to better myself, bad or good. If you take the DMT with that mindset, you will have the best trip. I've been talking to people about this shit for years. And they say just think positive and just look at it like a learning lesson. Look at it like a trip, like a spiritual, like self-work. Don't go into there with expectations. Go into there just trying to better yourself. And whatever you see on your trip, take it and smile, good or bad, because that's the universe giving you that to better yourself. But you will only get the truth if you clear your mind. You can't go on there with a belief system. If you believe in the fairy goddess, you gonna see the fairy goddess on your trip. So a lot of people, like you gotta think, I've been doing this shit over a decade. And what I'm giving you now is a culmination of all the research that I've read about this shit and just me shooting it out to you, reacting to the video. I ain't saying I got the truth. I'm saying I've studied DMT for a long time and I've extracted the things out of that research that make the most sense to me.
It's experiences similar to these that led Danny to develop his experiment. How did you come across this experiment?
It's a long story, and the short version of that is that I became very interested in the question of whether there's a way to discern.
Somebody said, can they call in? Yes, when we finish the video review, we're gonna open up the call-in line. I'm gonna play the video for a while without pausing it for a minute, because I've been pausing it a lot.
Whether the psychedelic space is real or not. And what I mean by real is, does it exist even when we're not looking? Like, does it have its own reality outside of our perception of it? And because my experiences with DMT were so realistic, as for many people.
Now think about this. Neil deGrasse Tyson said we live in a simulation. In a simulation, a tree don't exist if you ain't looking at it in a forest. We know the theory, we get it. But check this out. This means that all of the shit that the space program's been telling us that they find in faraway galaxies, faraway diamond planets, they telling us we've been finding that stuff with detection technology, because they don't have real pictures of it. And they'll tell you, yeah, of course we don't have real pictures of it. Our satellites pick up certain data that lets us know the composition of a structure. It lets us know with digital data that what it's composed of without photos all the time. So when they say it's super Earths and diamond planets out there, that ain't based upon cameras that we got light years away, because we don't got no technology that can send a camera that far. It's based upon us studying stars that isn't seen in the background of the sky. Does that make sense? For example, right, all of the space that you see in between the stars, it's still some stars there, but you can't see them. You see what I'm saying? But They're saying back way, way far in the darkness, the stars you can't even see is super Earth's diamond planets, and that goes against simulation theory. Because if you can't visually perceive it in a simulation, it won't manifest it. So when we talk about all of these other worlds that exist beyond the scope of our physical, visible spectrum, you won't even be able to perceive anything beyond your little bubble in a simulation, like a video game character in a video game. Have you ever played Grand Theft Auto? You, beyond that map, the Grand Theft Auto character don't know nothing else. You think about this. Let's take Mario. Mario, right? Mario got this whole world in the video game. Outside of that, Mario is ignorant because he's a little two-dimensional character in a game, and he don't even know it. He dodging turtles and shit, and he thinking it's real. What I'm saying is this. Mario wouldn't even have the technology to see beyond a fucking digital program. Y'all, it's going over your head. They telling you that your world is a physical object that you gotta overcome with physical technology. Yet they're saying it's a digital program that's non-physical because it's a simulation. You can't say them both. Because if this a digital program, we can't fly out of here. We can hack our way out of here. We can hack our way. We got to start talking computer language now and leave that old space age talk alone. That's old dumb Darwin shit. That's old dumb Freemason shit. The space age was a lie. So when everyone start talking about we're in a digital program, how do you fly out of a program, people? So the simulation, now this is what you gotta realize too, to double down on my argument. The people who teaching us about the globe, they've argued against simulation theory for years. They just now coming board on it, and they late. And they acting like they the experts at it. Ain't that some shit?
I decided that if the space in fact is real, there should be some way to determine that. And I started thinking about this from first principles. One of the things I realized that light must be involved somehow because I see it with my eyes, the psychedelic space, content. The other thing that became clear is that if the space is real, and all of those obviously were under the banner of if, we don't know, but if the space is real, then it's operating by some rules. It has a geometry, it has a topology, it has some regulations by which it's functioning. And it has some entry point for us. So even if the space is infinite, sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't see it. So that means that somehow we cross a boundary of some sort sometimes. And that sent me down the path that was very long and windy. And eventually I came up with a set of ideas that became some early attempts of trying to do something with light and then with lasers. And then all of a sudden, boom, lo and behold, we projected a fractal laser and you see code. Now, to be quite honest, I've discovered this now almost 4 years ago. And so far, it's still all we know.
The lasers for the experiment I witnessed were set up in a Faraday cage.
This is a great setup for isolating interference and other electrical signals. Verify the work. It's good. Really good. I'm excited. Yeah, let's go grab this.
They're about ready to go.
Mark went first to attempt to see the code.
I don't see it.
I'm going to wait a couple minutes and I'll go back.
Okay.
The first attempt didn't seem to be a success.
What do you say to folks who either just flat out don't believe you, or the people who have tried and can't see it and then hence don't?
Now, this the part we need to pay attention to. What do you say to the people who don't believe you? Because guess what he should say? I don't want you to believe me. Prove it for yourself. Keep trying and you'll see it. That's an honest person. But let's see what he say.
Yeah, don't believe. Yeah, I know you're asking the right question. Because
anything else you do to try to get them to believe you is like you creating a cult and a new belief system.
One of the things I always try to do up front is manage expectations, because it's very possible that when others do the protocol here with us, that they may not see the code. Like so far in the subjects that we've tested, about 1 in 10 can never see it. 6 in 10 see it the first time. And then usually another 3 in 10 on their second or third try.
Next up to try the experiment was Tom.
We look at the red one, right? We look at the red one?
The red one? I think it's not sharp enough.
Doesn't matter.
I think the green might take you through.
The green.
It ain't no experiment though. It's let's do this with thousands of people. And if more people see it than don't, it exists. We proved it. That's fake science, bro. Ain't no methodology in that. It's a bunch of people tripping on DMT and we don't know who lying or not. How do we know half of the motherfuckers that said they saw it didn't even see shit?
We might take you through. Make sure that you're looking into the speckle, not at the surface. You don't want to be looking at the surface. So you want to be literally looking into the field that is inside. So like literally,
okay.
It's almost like it's a window.
Okay.
And you're looking into that glistening
I
stuff.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, there we go.
In my opinion, this is the biggest distraction since the big trees and the giant trees and shit.
I can see the depth now.
Yep. So now look into the depth. And then see if you can resolve anything of the little tiny things moving around. It's almost microscopic in the beginning.
Yeah, so small.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little bitty just Hebrew number just floating in the middle of my laser. Why? Why would the source code just be where y'all looking at that laser point when everything in the simulation would need to have a source code to spawn it? This is crazy. Oh, I see it. There's the source code behind the whole universe right there. Look, squint your eyes. You don't see it? It's right there. You don't see those little Hebrew numbers floating right there? Yep, that's the code behind creation, man. Look, we found it, bud. High five.
They look so far. It looks like you're looking.
I can't believe the Discovery Channel making a documentary out of this. This lets you know that our world just want to push distractions and nothing burgers, anything but the truth.
Into a giant room.
There's green and black dots everywhere. It looks like a giant sphere, is what I'll say. It's just like. And then as this moves, that doesn't move. It's like this. I don't know.
It's like I'm looking through a window.
Best I can verbiage it. All right.
You can't be farting up in there. Oh, you can't fart up in there. I would hate to go up in that little bitty box right there and somebody been farting up in there on that DMT and I gotta go. And okay, Sanchez, you're up, bud. And as soon as that little door opened, oh, rotten cabbage.
That was pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
The room Tom described certainly piqued my interest. But part of the technique to view the code is to diffuse your focus, similar.
Now I got to take DMT. I got to diffuse my focus. So imagine this, right? Imagine how stupid you gonna look up in that little bitty fart box on DMT, diffusing your focus like this. I don't see it. Look hard. Your eyes ain't crossed enough. I don't see it. Where is it? It's very small. It's in the corner right there. You don't see it. It say Yahweh. It's Hebrew. I don't see. Diffuse your eyes some more. I'm crossing them. My eyes can't diffuse no more. They cross. Well, look good. Get your Sinead vision on. You can't look at this straight now. You got to be high as hell on DMT, and you got to do your eyes like this. You still don't see it? Come on, man. Fuck up your eyes some more. Can you burn his eyes or something? This shit. Fuck your eyes up, nigga. You see it now? Like, what the hell? This is weird. After a while, this is an experiment. This is an embarrassment. I want to go home, nigga. My eyeballs hurt and shit. He wasn't crossing his eyes enough. Do you hear this? This is cringe, man. This is fucking cringe. This is crazy. So not only do I gotta be doped up, I got to now fuck my own eyes. I gotta distort reality to see this bullshit. Hold on.
But part of the technique to view the code is to diffuse your focus, similar to viewing an autostereogram like the popular Magic Eye posters from the 1990s.
Converge your attention closer. It's almost like a diffusion of your attention more than anything.
This makes me wonder if the depth or room that Tom was seeing is just an optical illusion augmented by the DMT. Danny insists it's much more. And when he entered the Faraday cage, he indeed claims he saw more than just a room.
Wow. And that right there, my friend, is a satanic symbol. I don't know. Now, y'all may say I'm reaching. Let me show you. Let me show you. This right here that I'm about to show you is the another symbol of Satanism and of the Antichrist. I'll show it to you. Right here. Now, Satan has used this a lot. Here go another version of it. It's like a A, that A symbol. You see it everywhere with the Satanists. But see, this right here, why do they got that right there? Like, just right there. That, well, people can say that's a reach, but that stands out just, bam, satanic A, that same little symbol. Like, man, that's crazy. I've seen that a lot. Maybe it's just happenstance, right?
I'm just gonna Kaf Lamed Mem Shin Ein Reish Aleph. It's all the Hebrew letters that I'm seeing kind of appearing. So there's definitely someone in there. Let's just make it clear. Someone lives in here. This is someone's home.
As I'm sure you can imagine, that last statement made me take notice, and is a topic I definitely wanted to hear more about.
I want y'all to know something. There's a young man that's turning that's turning plastic to gas. And the Discovery Channel don't want to give him a show for what he's discovering. They rather give y'all stuff like this. Man, the hell with the Discovery Channel. Like all these shits is Zionist channel that only want to keep you dumbed down to serve a corporate agenda and keep you a consumer. Is sad, bro.
One of the things that we prepare folks who are going to do the experiment for the first time for is the fact that there's a non-0% chance that an entity will appear in the light itself. And
an entity gonna appear in the light. What kind of DMT y'all smoking? You don't see the little alien? He's right there in the light. Look really hard. He's in the lasers. Come on. He's right there in the lasers. Like, this is such bullshit. And the fact that it's viral, people eating it up. People eating up this shit like pigs and slop. It just show you it ain't no hope for the world, man. People is literally eating this up, man. It's crazy. And they really think that the shit they see in a DMT trip is a clear representation of reality versus just a hallucination that they having. Because there's levels to this shit. And I don't think a lot of these people leaving the earth, they hallucinating, seeing what they want to see on the earth. They'll say, well, the alien was in my bedroom. Well, you didn't go on a damn trip. How are you taking a substance that's made for you to be the alien, but you keep saying everything you want to see when you take it, and you fooling yourself? The DMT will lie to you if your mind ain't right. Go research it from a real shaman.
So far, in my experience, it does not appear to be intentional. It feels that it might be accidental. As in,
Now think about this, right? The same people that's promoting the alien agenda, promoting the Hebrew as the chosen race agenda, we call them Zionists. Now watch this. Here is the symbol of realism. Realism is the foundation of all ufology and alien talk, and look at the symbol of it. Everything about ufology, UAPs, 3-Eye Atlas, I keep telling you that dude Avi Loeb is a Jew. Now watch this. You don't think it's crazy that the Jewish flag, right, resembles the realism flag? Everywhere they go, they promote ufology. When they showed up here in the 40s, that's when we started a UFO groups. This is an extension of the Zionist agenda when it comes to surveilling and policing the sky and creating cash cows like planetary defense programs, man. They bankrupt nations with bogus cash cow programs. Look at what they doing in America. It ain't just us giving them military equipment and all that. We giving, dude, if you understood that certain agencies are dominated by foreign groups that ain't even American. Now let's talk about NASA. It is a cash cow, another cash cow for Israel. And guess what? They about to take us into this new phase of programming where they finna go and show you the relics. Because when you say Rael, you can't say Israel without saying Rael. You see here? When you say Israel, you're talking about the people that go around the world lying about the heavens. They be performing false signs and wonders in the sky, deceiving many according to the Bible. The beast, the synagogue of Satan, the false prophets that got the whole world looking for 3-Eye Atlas and all that, that got the papacy waiting to communicate with aliens. This is part of a grand end goal that's going to bring us into a world dictatorship, and y'all think it's a game. It's a reason why everybody promote the fucking alien shit. Again, if you look up the name of their god name is El Elyon. That's an ancient word for alien. And if you look at this group called a Realist group, they basically worship aliens, and they teach that Jesus and all them were aliens too. And don't that sound familiar? Yeah, you hear that in a lot of black conscious communities where they say, well, Malachi York descended here, or some people here are aliens, you know. But these guys want aliens to be real so bad that they promote propaganda to force this shit to be real other than it being real. You get what I'm saying? They want aliens to be real so bad, like A.V. Loeb, who's a Jew, who's a Zionist. He keeps saying, at this point, if you saying aliens ain't real, you kind of dangerous, because we need to open up more budgets to explore the sky because we may be under attack. And these Zionists go around the world deceiving people about the heavens and creating cash cow programs that bankrupt them people over time. You don't find it strange that the same agenda that the Jews and the Zionists got is founded upon the same belief systems of the realism group that goes back all the way, and this group goes back damn near to the 40s. Basically, it's just as old as the people that came over here. Like, this is they shit. Now they'll tell you that ufology and realism is new, but this the same doctrine that they was teaching about Buddha, Jesus, and all that they was aliens. The pharaohs in Egypt were aliens. The pyramids were built by ancient aliens. Basically, alien everything. And that's because you get to delete the ancestral history and technology from our ancients, from our ancestors. Who does that benefit? The Zionists, the Jews that took over. Because they running everything because people think they the chosen people. They gotta erase your history for people to think that. And the act of them erasing everyone's history starts here with religion. Religion is not legitimate history, but the world treat it that way. When you read the Bibles and the Qurans, those aren't history books. They should be in the fiction section. In a lot of libraries, the Bible is in the fiction section. But a president is swearing in on a fictional book, and they're treating this fictional book like real history, undermining the social studies class we all took in school. So the president swearing in, what that symbolically is saying is, I'm agreeing to the Bible's historical account, which is why when the president get into office, he go and serve Israel, because the Bible got a new history. And it says that Israel should be over the world. It got them being captive in Egypt. It got the Israelites losing everything when you read the Bible, and it said that God on their side and to help them regain control over the world type shit. So they're bypassing real history with the believe history that everyone believe in church and in a mosque, even though when you go to school, they don't let you take a history. The Bible ain't the history book in college. When I was in high school, we had a social studies book and it was a world history book. If the Bible had the history of the world from Genesis, wouldn't we have that in our history class in school if we're in a Christian country? It's two different histories of the world. The one they teach you in the school and the one that the president believe in when he swear in, which is why we go and act out the Bible and prophecy. And they can never respond to what happened to real history with the real people of God who was enslaved, because all of us agreeing to the fake history.
We may be shining a light into a space where these entities may just be, and we just happen to be shining a light in who knows what, their office or their house, or I don't even know. But when they tend to notice it, surprise isn't the right word, but interest is the right word. Like, they tend to come and they want to like look at the light and, you know, see what's going on with the light typically. But definitively, entities do occasionally appear in the front.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure when a dude who like rock and roll go on a DMT trip that Jimi Hendrix appears too.
At first, the claim that entities appear in the light seems fantastic. But if we are living in a simulation or some sort of multi-dimensional reality, perhaps...
Why would the entities only appear every time I take DMT? Now, if you supposed to be practicing science, you don't scratch your head and ask that. There are entities on the earth, but we can only see them on DMT. And you don't want to have a moment of honesty with yourself and say, is it just something fake or is it something real? Because if 100 people take DMT, will we see the same entity you just saw? Nope. Again, Christians see Jesus. People who believe in aliens see aliens. You might see dinosaurs if you believe in dinosaurs that hard. I've talked to different people on DMT from different religions, and I can't explain to you how many times people told me something different they saw on DMT that contradicts what somebody else saw. Unless everybody God real, everybody lying. Or DMT is showing them what they want to see. Because a Christian can't tell me Jesus real and ain't no other gods, but the Muslim is saying Allah when he take DMT. The Buddhists can't tell me Buddha is the only way to go, which they ain't gonna tell you that, but I'm giving you my point. Why everybody's saying they're God? Why can't a Christian see Buddha? You don't think about that? Why can't a Muslim see Jesus? Why everyone's saying exactly their thing? Their thing. People say, Sanchez, when I went on a DMT trip, I saw my mother that passed away. I saw my wife, or I saw this loved one. That's showing you that the trips are personal, like dreams. But again, guess who had the most dreams about aliens? People who believe in aliens the most, right? Guess who have the most dreams about Jesus talking to them? Christians. Guess who have the most dreams about you fill in the blank, right? Cool. People need to be honest and quit projecting their personal trips and experiences on everyone. That's how you create religions.
It actually makes sense that some sort of creatures or beings would exist in this alternate space. Many users of DMT have reported seeing various entities. Famously, Terence McKenna, the late psychedelic philosopher, described seeing machine elves.
There are definitely entities on the other side. I encounter self-transforming elf machines, which are creatures.
Elf machines. The type of shit we'll go for, bro. Y'all talking to motherfuckers that these folks are addicts. They're taking DMT at this point. I'm fully convinced. I will try DMT still, but I think they give DMT a bad name. What about y'all? Like, if I was a nigga that was pushing and promoting DMT, I would be mad at these guys, because if I wasn't as strong as I am and knowledgeable as I was with DMT, I would be turned off by it looking at this video. And I would definitely tell, man, you should never try that shit. That got niggas over there looking through lasers for hours and seeing aliens and elf machines and shit. I'm scared of that shit. I was just trying to see grandma. These niggas over here looking through aliens, seeing Hebrew characters, and they looking cross-eyed and shit, talking to F machines, and this is another level. I didn't sign up for weird. I signed up for awakening, my nigga. Shit.
Entities, perhaps, although they're not made out of matter, they're made out of, as nearly as I can figure it out, they're made out of sin.
Now, who wanna take DMT when you telling me that? Who wanna take DMT when you telling me that? Now, if a nigga telling me, Sanchez, when you take this DMT, it's gonna give you a trip. It may be good, it may be bad, but it's gonna be an inner journey that your soul gonna go on, and whatever you see, you need to see that, brother, to get to your next level of evolution. Now that's gonna give me a little butterflies like a warrior, like, okay, this a fucking, a saga type shit. You know what I'm saying? But think about you trying to promote DMT and you telling a motherfucker, hey man, when you take this shit, man, you're gonna see floating Hebrew characters and big-headed aliens and elves with machines and shit, little elves and shit. Bro, I'm good. I'll just take the blunt. Just hand me the blunt, man. I'm good on the DMT. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Bro. I know. Listen, I've talked to a lot of people that fuck with DMT. That's why I'm still gonna try it. But I'm telling you right now, this is more like a hit piece on DMT. In my opinion, real people who fuck with DMT is gonna agree with me and say, yeah, Sanchez, they kind of watering it down. They is kind of making a mockery out of this shit. It's a spiritual thing. And when they come with all this, yeah, you're gonna see pink elephants with fucking high heels on, and the elephants are gonna be doing the cha-cha slide and shit. Bro, like, what the fuck do I want to take DMT to see that dumb shit for, nigga? It's stupid, man. Yeah, you're gonna take this shit and see frogs falling out the sky. Ooh, wee, man, this is a goofy drug. I'm good. I got shit to do. I thought you was saying I was gonna reconnect with my ancestors type shit, nigga. You can have this.
Tax driving light.
So for a long time in the DMT space, a lot of people meet beings. That's not new or special to me. And they seem to be...
And that shit is a projection of weird shit that's in their own subconscious. You know what it's called? An apparition. It's a false... What fear stand for? We used to say it in the military. False evidence appearing real. It ain't there, nigga. All of the monsters that the ancestors talked about was deep parts of your own being that you gotta deal with and slay and conquer, just like Bruce Lee in the Dragon movie. That's right. The ancestors said that, nigga, you may see a monster on your trip, and and the monster may be a manifestation of your alcohol addiction, because the subconscious deal with symbolism, and that you beating up that monster in a dream, you'll wake up and be free from your alcohol addiction type shit. This is the kind of stuff. I ain't saying I'm right. I'm telling you, this is my research on how this stuff works.
As real as you and I, but usually they kind of appear in slightly esoteric ways. Like sometimes there's just a presence.
Yeah, like if you just say you got a spirit of jealousy, that may appear as a certain obstacle in the dream world that you gotta overcome. And it may keep appearing as a demon that's fucking you up. And until you and it's like saying, even this mythological comic book type world is still tied to this world where things are just expressing themselves in other forms in the subconscious mind. So that's why they were saying, like in the movie, like when they say, well, you got an alcohol demon or a sex demon. And then they'll turn around and say, you got to battle your demons. You got to fight and slay your demons. Literally, when you have dream interpreters and motherfuckers is talking, because look, you can have monsters in your dream just because you're a child and you just watched a scary movie before bed. So that don't necessarily have to have nothing to do with no addictions either. But I do get what people saying, and both can be right.
Presence or a feeling or an energy. Rarely you see their form. There's a lot of different species. The ones that I understand to be weaving our physical reality are insectoids. There are others. There are many others.
You see what I'm talking about? The beings that control our reality are fucking insectoids. Grasshopper and praying mantis beings, y'all. Do you hear this shit, man? Do y'all hear? This is the shit that they won't promote it on the disc. Bro, this is
Stupid.
Oh my fucking God. The insectoids rule our world, y'all. Goddamn. People like weird, mysterious shit. You know why? Because the truth too boring. The truth is boring, man. They want insectoid God. Oh my fucking God. God Tarantula, your Royal Highness. Can you imagine dying and a big ass caterpillar is judging your ass saying, stand up, nigga. I'm God. You expecting to see angels and human beings and shit, and you die, and it's a fucking big ass fly. A fly sitting on a throne, nigga. Come here, my child. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it, man. We gotta get through it, man. This is fucking crazy.
But the insectoid seems to be responsible for our reality.
Oh my God, man. There are the earthworm gods, and there's this beetle prince. The beetle princes, they run the entire universes. And not to mention, the cockroaches got a galactic federation, but they're currently at war with the earthworms. But yeah, the insectoids run our world. Oh my God. You know, the ladybugs used to run shit before the grasshoppers took over.
Danny says he knows this information because it was shown to him.
So one fateful day, there was just this one vision. I guess you can call it a vision, but it was just basically a simulation. They just showed me. They brought up this entire apparatus in front of me, and it was as real as you are to me. It's just enormous satellite dishes that rose between the trees and the mountains. I was living in Pasadena back then.
And what I'm tripping off is how the fuck a grasshopper built a simulation for me, but built a dirt house for his damn self. That's what I'm tripping off. He said the insectoids created the earth. They rule everything. You telling me the ants created the humans and the earth, but yet they build dirt houses in their own simulation they made? I can go kick over an ant bed right now and step on 10 grasshoppers, but you telling me the insectoids created all this shit, but yet inside of their own simulation, the insects don't run nothing. We can put pest control on their ass and wipe out entire insect species, nigga. That's crazy. Insects built technology like satellites and shit. Ant gods and grasshopper people built the stars. So insects created flowers, fishes, humans, apes. Okay, this is interesting. Let's go.
And they had these like symbols on them, very similar to what we see in the code. And then the whole everything was stripped to the grid, and just like, and it was just grid. Basically, what I saw was a replica of the entire other side of the block, just upside down, sitting on some kind of a assembly arm. And then the whole arm, whatever it was, this enormous thing, just rose up and just went clunk and just set on the other.
Lies, 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 la 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 lies. DMT lies. All of this shit's lies. This is lies, son. If this don't sound made up, and he gonna be on the Discovery Channel talking about insect. If you know what, I hope I don't pay for Discovery Channel no more, cause we ain't discovering shit but a bunch of junkies with a bunch of lies, 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 lies. Listen to him. This shit sound like a comic book story. Pow, bang, zap, wow, cap, boom.
Basically, what I saw was a replica of the entire other side of the block, just upside down, sitting on some kind of a assembly arm. And then the whole arm, whatever it was, this enormous thing, just rose up and just went clunk and just set on the other side of the street, and everything started reforming in zigzags from far away, closer and closer and closer to me, until like I saw cars, people, dogs appear out of nowhere. And then it just went.
Lies. Lies, 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 la la lies, 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 lies.
And then it was just silence. And I have to be honest that I actually never thought that even if I would know there was a simulation, it would do anything to me. Because I thought, well, who cares? Like, my experience is still real to me. You know, if you stub your toe in the middle of the night and it hurts, you don't care if somebody comes and tells you, oh, don't worry about it, that's a simulation. It's like, no, if it hurts, right? That's real to me right now. So I never thought that it would matter, but I was wrong. There was something in that moment, there's a gut punch. You do feel gutted. It's like because there is this sense of like, wait, like, am I a puppet? Like, this is kind of meaningless? Like, what is the... I later realized that it's not the case, because all they're showing you is that there's just a larger picture to the situation. If a civilization that is way more advanced than you runs you on their, computer, if you have consciousness, it's not different than being rendered by the laws of physics. Like, really, there's no difference. Like,
it is. You see what they trying to do? They trying to make simulation theory applicable to the laws of physics. I've been telling y'all the whole show. They trying to force this shit on their model, and it doesn't apply. Dan Goldthorpe's, I don't trust none of this stuff, bro. It got PSYOP hit piece written all over it. The agenda behind it is people are waking up to the simulation concept. But what they're going to find out is that it does not apply to heliocentrism. And the people who even laid the foundation for simulation talk are the people who was telling us that the earth flat. It's going to lead back to the people they censoring and silencing. Now, I just went over how you can't have a simulation on a heliocentric model. I'm going to open up the call lines because I know people were saying they wanted to call in, and we only got like 4 minutes, so let's play it out.
As long as there's real experience, that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter because it's simulations all the way up. It's just simulations on top of simulations on top of simulations. They're also simulated, so it just keeps going, right? That was that pivotal moment where...
You saw how they had an earth inside of an earth? Look at this. Now, see, now they just straighten up stealing from the flat earth model. This is a shame. Now, you told me in the middle of the earth was a molten core, but now you got a little bit of earth inside of a big earth because they've been watching the flat earth shit. Come on now. This is fucking amazing right here, bro. This is a crazy time to be in. They're desperate.
Meaningless?
Look
Like,
at this shit. They're rewriting their whole model because of this flat earth shit.
Worry about it. That's a simulation. It's like, no,
Look at
it
this.
hurts, right? That's real to me right now.
Look at this.
So I never thought that it would matter, but I was wrong.
Look at this shit.
There was something in that moment. There's a gut punch. You do
Bro.
feel gutted. It's like
we gotta see this again, man.
Because if a civilization that is way more advanced, if you have consciousness, it's not different than being rendered by the laws of physics. Like, really, there's no difference. Like, as long as there's real experience, that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter because it's simulations all the way up. It's just simulations.
Now watch this. Look.
Simulations on top of simulations. They're also simulated, so it just keeps going, right?
So you got a globe and a globe and a globe. So these are the same people that'll tell you inside the globe are the layers of the earth with the molten core in the middle. Now, the only people that talk about a earth and a earth and a earth inside of a earth inside of the earth are the flat earthers right here. Look. And now they still in our model. And I'm here to point out the plagiarism. I got to point it out. The fact that you're stealing our model and trying to make it yours, and you know you can do that because the world's so dumbed down, it's crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of lost hope with the world. If they letting us know it don't matter how much truth and facts y'all got, we got these people so stubborn, egotistical, and dumbed down, no one want to admit they've been lied to, bro. No one want to admit that, just like Morpheus said in The Matrix. You can't get them people to wake up. It's so much shit stopping their awakening. And the number one thing, why would they lie to us? You don't know everything. He's the expert. That was what kept people sleeping in The Matrix. They trust the powers that be too much. And science ain't based on trust. You got to do your own due diligence. And that's what Neo and that's what we do. You know, scientific methodology ain't based upon do you believe they went to space? It's can you prove they fucking went? But you see they giving you a globe inside of a globe inside of a globe because they trying to now take our concepts because they heard our arguments and they see how much sense it make for parallel realities and a simulation. So now they want to incorporate the flat earth concepts into their model. They want to incorporate concepts that you can only have with intelligent design on a model that denies intelligent design.
Right? That was that pivotal moment where I moved from thinking that it might be the case to knowing for a fact.
The possibility that we're in a simulation raises all sorts of questions. It makes me think of modern video games.
Okay, I gotta open up the call lines now and never, so let's go and open them up real quick. We'll play this while I drop the call-in link. I'm opening the lines up now, so if you guys want to join for any reason, don't wait. Click the link and come on up, because if I don't see people clicking the link in like the first 30 seconds or no, the first minute, my bad, 2 minutes or so, I'm going to go ahead and start closing out, man. So we can extend it if y'all want. And I encourage people, if you like what I'm doing here, to send in a super chat, hit the Cash App, $ Bro Sanchez TV, so that I can keep bringing you this content. A little helps a lot. Thank you in advance. And now at this time, we're going to drop the call-in link, and we'll pin it And come on up, first come, first serve. First come, first serve. Let's open up the call lines. Come on up, talk to me. Let's do it. We waiting on the first callers.
Am I the player character being controlled by some other entity? Am I the non-player character, just repeating the same handful of programmed actions? Even if we aren't.
The player character and the non-player character, you can be either or. That's just saying, am I woke or not woke? If you're living out your life unaware of your divine potential, you're a non-player character. You ain't living at your greatest potential for the simple fact you ain't acting out your choices or actions from the truth with the truth. You're acting out from a lie. And we can never make the perfect choices in our life with the foundation of lies. So we reincarnate. That's the system they got. Religion. Go ahead. Let's go to my first caller, man. Salutes to Brother Jedi. Salutes. You guys, thank you for camming up. But if you cam up, try not to smoke too much in the camera. But let's go to the Brother Jedi, man. You got to unmute your microphone, Jedi. Microphone check to Jedi. You got to hit the mic button. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Very sorry.
We can hear you loud and clear, man. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. I wanted to go over this whole everybody out in the world that wants to try the DMT. First off, the whole laser thing was cool. How you brought that up, how fugazi the whole project was, because when you do the DMT, you got to have your eyes closed to open that third eye properly.
Yep.
So you gotta, and the key is when you people try to do this, don't be scared. You got to have no fear when you go to these places, and it'll help everything become at like this flow state, and that's where you want to be. But I highly recommend everybody try it. You know what I mean? Probably smoke a little bit at first. It only lasts about 10 or 15 minutes before you hop into some ayahuasca or something like that. But don't be scared, people. I was scared the first time I tried it, and I did it, and I'm glad I did. I've done it several times, and I think it could help everybody. So I highly recommend it. That's kind of really all I wanted to say. Don't be scared.
Now, what about can you do it like before you go to sleep to kind of try to help you dream into like lucid dream, like and all that?
You know what? The process of DMT is something that is something that's primarily for people, I believe, that are like around 21, younger adults. Mm-hmm. And it's something that you don't do all the time. This is something you do maybe once or twice a year to reboot your brain, to unplug you from the matrix. Yeah. So you remember who you are. And then when you go to meditate without having to smoke it, you know how to get there just through closing the eyes with the right cymatics and breathing technician. Yeah. You can go to these altered states of consciousness without the DMT, but it's really good to try it so you know where to go, where there is. You've been there before. It's a lot easier to get back.
That resonates because now you're saying it's more like a guide, not a substance you rely on, but more like training wheels if I'm trying to ride a bike.
Out of the gate, it's like training wheels, but after you do it like 10 times, you actually start to open up those Akashic records and you get these kind of crazy downloads. It's really weird how it happens too, because when, like you were also saying that when you do this, like if you're thinking you're Christian, you're going to see Jesus. It's not quite like that. Sometimes when you do this stuff, you really don't determine where you're going. You're just going to go there and you're going to have to accept it.
Mm-hmm. Like dreaming, just like dreaming.
Just like dreaming, you got just and once you get into these altered states of consciousness, you can't quite manipulate them, but you can get into this flow state with it, where it almost feels like you're supposed to be there, and then all this knowledge and ancestral like you'll meet yourself as like an Indian or something a long time ago in a whole nother place, and it's really weird stuff. But
can I ask you a question? How come there's a lot of Christians who do DMT who claim that they've seen Jesus though?
You know, I don't really I don't really have the answer to that. But however, I have administered this to several people, and I've noticed that they all kind of see different things. That some people go to the clown place and see the clowns laughing at them. Some people, but I don't think this is a religion-based thing. Maybe they're seeing like some kind of spiritual type of no, I'm not going to say like a archon fake, but maybe like a Nephilim god from back in the day that their ancestors saw when something happened, and they're having this flashbacks through them because it has a lot to do with the blood types too.
Because I had a theory. I was saying, like, what if all of our belief systems are worlds we create by agreement in the astral plane, and that you can open up a stargate to that with enough people believing in it in that realm, and where now you can kind of go to these places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would take a very complicated architect to do that, and that's something that the humans, I don't believe, can just conjure that up.
I don't think so, because think about this, right? This science behind the theory. If the ancestors said you can't think of an original thought, that means that anything your imagination can conjure up is just you tapping into a parallel reality out there in the universe somewhere, and there's so many of them. So if, you see what I'm saying? So what if we're literally dialing into frequencies called Yahweh, Buddha, Krishna, and you can literally, because too many people said, look, I've seen Jesus, man. I was near death and I saw Jesus. I saw heaven. I saw the angels, just like the Bible said, you know.
I've seen someone that was somewhat similar to a Jesus type figure in one of my DMT experiences. It was actually a being of light, and like it was like 12 feet tall, and it was like a being of light with a purple headed robe on with a hood, and I was actually in like this surgical room. This is pretty crazy stuff, and I was hooked up to like Neo in the Matrix when he's plugged up to that cocoon thing, when he's hooked up with all the stuff in his mouth. I was in a room similar to that, and this being of light came in the room, and I was waking up from the dream, like from the simulation, and he kind of waved his hand over my head and told me telepathically, go just lay down and go back to sleep. Everything's going to be all right. And I laid down and went back to, but I think I was waking up from a DMT trip inside one of those pods, actually. I know that sounds pretty wild. I know that sounds wild, but I'm pretty sure that's what was taking place there.
But you agree though that, and I'm gonna skip around, that the source code definitely wouldn't be in Hebrew now, would it?
You know, that's really weird that you say that you mentioned the different alphabets and stuff like that. I think that the humans, even though we have all these different languages and stuff, we didn't really come up with all these languries. You know what I'm saying? I think that when the giants, these Nephilim or whatever, left and were casted down into the earth, supposedly, they split us all apart and kind of left us for like an experiment almost, to feed off our energy is what they're doing.
Well, I can't prove that the giants did all that. So I would be trying to prove one thing off something that I didn't prove already, so to speak. But what I'll say is that Hebrew is an evolutionary language. Mean it evolved. You can see the evolution of it and how it come to be, and it's like a language that just evolved from the Phoenicians a few years ago wouldn't be the source code behind the entire earth. You know, that is just crazy.
Yeah, I've had these downloads of information coming down like Star Wars credits in some of my DMT trips where and it's in a language that I couldn't really read, but I totally understood it as it was downloaded into me. And I don't know if it was like Hebrew or what kind of language or it was from. And that's the thing when you take these DMT trips, a lot of this is kind of ancestral, and I think that some of us aren't fully human. Some of us are clones actually, and that we don't really have the full DMT trips that some of us do have, which is kind of weird. I'm not saying they're like the non-player characters or anything like that, but I've administered DMT to a lot of people, and I tested their blood to figure out what their blood types were. And certain blood types have different trips than other people, purely. So, you know, I believe the people that actually have the Rh negative are a little more in tuned with the DMT naturally. And I think that those are the people that probably that could be cloned, but have splices of the ancients in us that's taking over. More Rh negatives are coming out about from the recessive traits from multiple positive parents, which is very rare, but it's happening now where there's more Rh negatives popping up on the screen. And this is what they do with these resets and these holocausts is there's too many Rh negatives and these people wake up and they don't want us waking up. Then we'll wake up these other people, just like you.
I appreciate that, Jedi. I think, man, it's a perfect call to end the show with some good vibes and good energy, man. I appreciate you for calling in, and I look forward to the next one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've come on your channel before, and people weren't really nice to me, so I appreciate the love this time. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad that it was different this time, and I apologize about the last time. So yeah,
it's all good. It wasn't you. It was people that were chiming in on the chat that just didn't want to hear what I had to say. So I just wanted to say I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, no doubt, man. Salutes to the chat as well. I see y'all on the next one.
Have a good night.
Here. Yeah, you too. Have a good one. Shout out to everyone that supported the show, all the Patreons, channel members. Can't do it without y'all. Appreciate that. Peace and much love.